We are live. Angela,
Hi.
you're on TV.
Don't say that. I'll run away. You're on TV. How about that? Jazz hands.
Jazz hands, baby.
How was your
I
day?
got this like little confined space for my jazz hands.
No,
was
that's
there
when
like
you that's when you go like this.
Oh yes, Angela. Oh, you should see it on TikTok. You will. It's eventually. It's top
Hey.
show.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
what?
you're on TikTok also?
Yeah.
You're on everybody? You're everywhere? You're worldwide?
We are live to the whole world. We have absolutely nobody we're live to. I'm talking to only you
Wonderful.
and the Ethernet. But you gotta expect at least one person will come.
My dog just drooled on me.
One day, hi is here.
Sweet.
The first to arrive, actually. How are you? I hope you are well.
It's
and we're
because
so
you're
glad to see you.
early.
I am a little early. It's true. It's 6:58, 6:59. People are like, what the fuck? I have to, we're going to, I got this little intro I'm working on. It's a little tiny one, but, just something. And then I've got a starting soon so that, because people are going to be lined up around the block for this eventually. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
we got to
Yeah, so you want to...
prepare. It's going to be like Pinks at 2 a.m.
That's 7. It's 7 o'clock now. I set an alarm.
I Am Bobo has arrived. What's up, I Am Bobo?
Sweet.
Am I getting that right when I say I Am Bobo? I like it. So I hope it's right.
So,
Liz is here.
how was your day? Dale?
My day was pretty good. Alyssa's here. And it's been a minute, by the way. So hi and welcome back.
Welcome back.
I've noticed you're not here and I missed you. Delicate is here. Hello, Delicate. Alyssa says, always good to see you, Delicate. Alyssa says, totally random, but have you watched We Were Liars on Prime? I just started it and I'm hooked.
Ooh.
We shall write it down
I'm looking this
because
up right now.
we just finished Vice Principals. Was that yesterday?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, guys, what a show.
Ooh, it's a thriller series.
Yeah, I like thrillers, man. Vice Principals is genius, dude. Rainbow Pickle.
Okay, you
is
want to
in
hear
the
about this
house.
on Prime?
What's up, Rainbow Pickle? Yes.
It's called We Were Liars. There's one season so far.
Okay, well, one's a good start.
The Sinclairs are American royalty known for their good looks, old money, and enviable bond. After a mysterious accident changes Cadence Sinclair's life forever, everyone, including her group of friends, seem to be hiding something.
What?
What are they
We're
hiding?
coming for you, and we're coming for the truth.
I think it might have something to do with being liars. It's titled We Were Liars. Spoiler!
Fucking conspiracy theory. Conspiracy theory is so funny. Cosmic urgency. What is happening? I just had a mini stroke, clearly.
Are you okay?
But half my mouth is going to stop working.
Mercury retrograde. You can't
Cosmic
talk.
urgency just said, welcome to another episode of Angela trying to ruin the stuff for me. The stuff for me with her conspiracy theories.
Yeah. Well, hey, has anybody come up with a good explanation for why the little boy
Yeah.
is shirtless the whole time?
Dude, I tried to monitor the audio again today and I got nothing but crackles. So I had to redo it all again for it only took me a minute, but I had to whatever. So I just hope it holds up. Oh, I don't know what the problem is, man.
You're back here in your office and you're like, God, the crackles.
The crackles.
The crackles.
The damn crackles. Get off my
I'll
lawn.
get you, crackles.
Vice Principals by Danny McBride. That
Oh,
show was wild.
It's not just him. He shares the credit.
Jody Hill, yeah.
Yes.
That's his writing partner in pretty much everything.
Yeah, so did you see a picture of Jody Hill?
No.
Okay, you'll look him up because you'll recognize him from Righteous Gemstones.
Okay.
He's one of the Danny McBride's character in Righteous Gemstones, how he has his group of dudes who he just bosses around.
Mandy's here on TikTok. Yes,
sweet.
I do.
Yeah, he's one of them. He's the one that they're always ridiculing.
Oh, I love it.
So he cast his writing partner in that role.
Well, they're brilliant, and they do things in such a, it's like they're so easy to think they're crap. Like it's real easy to watch a few episodes and these guys are fucking stupid. Like it's, you know what I mean? Like they don't have.
In the beginning of the series, I didn't know if I was going to like it. But then I realized that he was really excellently making fun of the stereotypes of American evangelism.
Yes.
And it was perfect. I was like, why are there so many exposed penises in this show?
Yeah.
And that's exactly why.
Well,
because American evangelism is like so homophobic, but also really homoerotic constantly.
Christianity in general, one of the sort of wildest things I saw when I went to Rome and went to St. Peter's was that there was this Pope. I can't remember which one, but you know, when he became the Pope, he was like gone with the dicks. And so all of the statues have their dicks knocked off crudely. So all the statues in St. Peter's are standing there without their dicks.
They have really, really weird issues.
As if that helped, you know, as if we like, oh, there are no penises.
Oh, I forgot they even existed since they're no longer on the statues. You know? Weird.
Danny McBride is a national treasure. I've watched everything he's done now on HBO. I can understand why HBO will not let this guy go. Vice Principals was clearly a limited series. It was written to end when it did.
Yeah.
And it ended.
Which was also very satisfying. Like, I know that you and I have experienced a few shows that got canceled early, and it's kind of devastating.
Deadwood.
Yeah, like
Deadwood was the worst cancellation in the history of television.
I'm still not over it. And then, so it was really nice to see a show actually just wrap up. I appreciated it.
I love me some Danny McBride. Highly recommend Vice Principals, 2 seasons, absolutely brilliant. And once again, Goggins just throwing down, man.
Walton Goggins.
What's up, Jenna? What's up, everybody on TikTok? We're so glad to see you.
Yeah, Walton Goggins, man. He got snubbed too, right?
The Goggs, man. That guy, he just throws down. In Vice Principals, he got to show like really amazing dramatic acting. Yeah.
In really, really absurd scenarios.
Yeah, because he's doing the over the top thing that he did in Gemstones as well. But yeah, and this is the thing I love about just Danny McBride in general is that his stuff is so fucking over the top. It's so over the top, and then in it has all these really great cores and themes, and emotional foundation and emotional evolution. And and his emotional evolution is done through these like really beautiful, subtle exchanges often.
Yeah.
And he's a motherfucking pro. I love his stuff. He reads like there's a writer who's I have to remember his name. I've only read one of his books called Lucky, I think, or You're Lucky. You Lucky? Lucky You.
Lucky You. Yeah.
Lucky You.
What's that guy's name?
Hyacin.
Yeah.
Hyacin. I have to remember this author's name. I've only read one of his books. I have 3 more on my shelf because I'm going to get to them. But this dude, like, he just writes like
it's Carl Hyacin. I don't know how to pronounce his name.
He's like a Florida professor who's
Hiaasen. Carl Hyacin. Lucky You. You read that one. Is this kind of like a neo-noir?
I don't know what that means.
Oh, it's just like a...
Like, is it the guy from The Matrix?
No.
In a black outfit?
No, it's like noir. Like kind of, noir. It's almost like sort of like crime, like Gumshoe, like I'm blanking on all of the famous authors that wrote it. Like Elmore Leonard.
Elmore Leonard?
Yeah, like that kind of thing.
Elroy is a good way to go with that.
Elroy.
You could just go with Elroy as a one name. He should have done that.
Like how you say Cormac McCarthy is McCormick.
McCormick.
You call him McCormick.
I do. He gets me every time, that guy.
Anyway, it's just like this genre of like crime fiction that's got humor, and it's also mystery, but it's set in like the now times and not like, the before times. I don't know. You put me on the spot with the shit sometimes. I'm doing my best over here.
Lost and My Name is Earl are the worst cancellations of TV history.
Oh, you thought so?
No, this is from Tanner. Well, Tanner, I don't know because Lost,
Well, so both of those shows were canceled before they finished?
Well, to say that about Lost is to say like, is to predict your own death almost, like.
Did they have to cancel prematurely?
Lost didn't know where it was going. It was lost when it began.
Yeah, I know.
As a show.
I'm asking about like did they intend to finish the show when they did, or were they canceled prematurely and they had to quickly wrap everything up?
I don't recall that show being canceled.
Yeah, I don't recall that either.
I think that show just ran its course. But I could be wrong about that.
Yeah.
I think Stephen Adcock, who shot Don's Plum, went and shot Lost.
I think you're right.
I think he did.
But I remember with Deadwood was really weird because it's like they didn't even know they were canceled when they finished that season, and they expected to come back for another one. Do you remember what happened with that?
Deadwood?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it just got canceled. HBO.
No, but it got canceled mid-season because sometimes they'll tell them.
It wasn't mid-season.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll tell them you're going to get this is the last season, so the writers can try and wrap things up. But that didn't happen with Deadwood.
It got canceled over the hiatus. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know what the deal was. I don't know what deal they had. It was a fucking tragedy. That show, the loss of that show. If you haven't seen Deadwood on HBO, I mean, it is. I think it's quite possibly the best series ever. Quite possibly the best series ever.
Yeah, it was a good one.
It's utterly brilliant. Yeah. I wish you all to see it. Beep beam. I just beamed you with it. Beep beam beam beam. I don't know what that is.
It's a good sound effect.
Thank you. Conspiracy said, conspiracy, why am I doing that? Cosmic Urgency said.
It's a conspiracy, Dale.
It's a conspiracy why I'm reading his name completely wrong, even though he's like, I know him like a tattoo. Didn't My Name is Earl and Lost go on for ages? They did. That's what I'm saying. I think they just ran their course. Wonder Falls and Pushing Daisies for me. I never saw either of those. Damn. Pushing Daisies is a name I really like. I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, I didn't see that one either.
What do you push What do you mean pushing daisies?
Oh, it's a that's.
Is it like pushing people named Daisy?
No.
Oh, because that makes sense. Just going around and finding them.
No, it's like give up the ghost, kick the bucket, pushing daisies.
That's a saying.
Yeah.
Never heard it.
But it's about like
I'm very uncultured though.
Passing away, being buried.
Buried. Yeah, I've been trying to say. I haven't been trying to say buried. I've found myself saying buried, and I used to say buried.
Is it Canadian to say buried?
Buried?
Yeah.
No, isn't that how it's spelled?
Yes, it is, but nobody says it that way. I was saying it as a joke.
Buried. Doesn't that sound like you've been turned into a blueberry or a raspberry? You've been buried?
Buried.
No. Buried.
Hey, can I ask you, have you ever heard of a country icon named Helen Cornelius?
No.
Okay.
It's an unfortunate name if you're going to become an icon. Like it's
why?
Well, because it's
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah, that's another one. Orville Redenbacher. It goes on and on.
Redenbacher.
Why you ask?
Because that person passed away.
Oh. Well, maybe you could give us a hint about what they did. There's like these icons, and this is the other thing. Like we were talking about how like all these like absolute rock icons are all going to be passing away. Ozzy now gone, and then I mean, just all of Black Sabbath still left. Geezer and Bill and Tony, as I call them, they're all any dayers. So, pardon me.
Helen Cornelius. That's
There's these other legends that just I love it. Cornelius. The name Cornelius. I love Cornelius because of when I was a kid and I used to watch Planet of the Apes.
Engelbert Humperdinck.
And there was an ape called Cornelius, and the woman ape would be like, "Oh, Cornelius," and I don't know why, but it resonated with me.
I'm gonna just keep naming like weird celebrity names, people who got super famous.
Yeah.
Just to like dispel the myth that you need to change your name to something normal in order to become famous.
Kate Bush. Enya,
right? Does she have a full name, or is that all it says on her birth certificate?
The prelude to like a big sneeze, doesn't it?
Enya's name.
Did you ever listen to Enya?
Oh, her name is not pronounceable.
It's unpronounceable?
Yes.
Is that how you say that?
Because it's like she's Irish, so I don't know if that's Gaelic or what.
Yeah, it's probably Gaelic.
It is just a lot of letters.
It's a bunch of letters. It could be Icelandic.
None of it looks like it sounds like Enya. Yep. Can't pronounce that. Can't even attempt it.
Oh, listen to this. Alyssa loves Helen. Lying in Love with You.
Oh, that's a good title.
Lying. Lying in Love with You. It was my favorite song for a while. I love that title. Oh my God, that title is so inspirational. Don't you think so?
Mm-hmm.
Lying in Love with You. That's really kind of a perfect song title.
She is perhaps best known for her duets with Jim Ed Brown in the 1970s and 80s.
Another guy I don't fucking know. You see what I'm saying? Like, I feel like
You don't know Jim Ed?
No,
Why would they do that? Why would he go by Jim Ed?
I feel like I should though, because like I pride myself on like having an eclectic history. Like, you know, I've seen a lot of things. I've been around. I'm 5'5".
Their chart-topping hits included "I Don't Want to Have to Marry You."
That sounds like an affair.
I know.
Or that sounds like a pregnant girlfriend.
I don't know. I'm sure it is, dude. 1970s country was probably all over the place like that.
Okay, I mean, I'm in.
Cornelius and Brown were like a classic duo. This is the first time I'm ever hearing of this. Not that, you know.
I would like to listen to.
Not that I have my finger on the pulse of 1970s American country, but.
Well, thanks for bringing that up. I did not know that they had passed.
Well, I brought it up expecting you to know who this person was, because you've taught me so much about classic country that I thought was I thought you were the source.
I love me some country. That's true, and I was raised on this stuff for sure. Big time.
It's been fun learning about that kind of music.
We have some good records. Mm-hmm. Ernest Tubbs, man.
You like Ernest Tubbs?
Fucking love.
What are some
Ernest
other
Tubbs.
names of artists that you really?
Well, I mean, there's all the classics, you know, from Tammy Wynette to, I love Tammy.
Everybody loves Tammy.
Oh my God, she just breaks your heart. And Loretta, and I love George. Well, I like George Strait. I love them all, man. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for the follow, user 384 something or other.
Was that what that little sound was?
Yeah, we just got a little
cute.
follow.
You got a little notification.
Erica's here. Hi, Erica. She said, if you love classic country, you need to listen to the podcast. I can't say it because I'm on TikTok, but Blow and Rhinestones.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, looking that up too.
That does sound great. I love country music. I love it. But I love everything, right? Like, I'll throw up Wu-Tang one morning and Leonard Cohen the next, you know. The only thing I don't really love is Depeche Mode. Does that make me a bad person? Like, Depeche Mode is, like, beloved. And I just cannot get into them. I think I've heard a couple of songs where I was like, oh, who's this? And they were like, Depeche Mode. And I was like, oh, no shit. But then, like, most of the times when I've, like, who's this? They were like, Depeche Mode. But, like, I'm not listening to this again. I don't know why.
I know I'm really choosy about popular music too. Like everything REM adjacent, I've always liked, but then REM comes on, I'm like, ugh.
I had a breakup.
There's something about their sound.
I had a breakup right when Everybody Hurts was out, and I was.
Oh, that's the worst.
And I was in a terrible state, and I went into this like pool hall that was in this basement. It was like a darkly lit pool hall. It just felt sad just being in the building, and then I racked up a game. And that song came on, and I swear it was like somebody stuck a knife right into my heart and ripped it in half, and I just bled out in the pool hall. I was like so disconnected from everybody. I was in so much pain because this song just like dragged me through every sadness I felt for losing this girl. And I lost this girl because we don't need to get into it. She's long gone. The one that got away, Angela.
So every time that song comes on, it reminds you of the pain of that breakup?
Every time I hear REM. Doesn't matter if it's
up, man.
What's the frequency, Kenneth or whatever. I immediately go back to that day of having my heart torn in two by REM in the basement of a fucking pool hall.
It's amazing
trying to get over a breakup.
It's amazing how those grief memories are really, really strong. Like I have that with a song with a popular band that does the same exact thing to me, and I won't even talk about it because it's too awful.
Really?
Yeah. But it's like everybody loves this band, and every time it comes on, I'm like I have to like start moping. Like I just recede into myself, you know? And it's nothing like nobody's at fault for it. It's just my brain made the association.
Dude,
on a bad day, you know?
Rewiring music is such a pain in the ass. Like when you got to rewire music from breakups or like old relationships or just generally how they make you feel. When we had a treadmill and I got to run a lot on my treadmill, I love treadmills and I don't have them right now. It breaks my heart. But when I had one, I was able to run on one. I was listening to this Tragically Hip album. Like, dude, I cried fucking buckets.
Well, that's kind of like a crying band.
No. You don't understand. Well, no, no, I wouldn't say so. But in any case, it was like I was like rewiring the band. I was like, it was like I was purging out the Up to Here. That was the name of the record. The Up to Here memories, which were like just so huge because it was like 19 to 21 or whatever. You know, it was like this like that moment in time where like I don't know. It was just a really great moment in time, and I think you long for it if you.
That is interesting. Like exercise is really cathartic for that.
Yeah, so it got me, dude. Oh my god.
I'm one of those like I'm a yoga crier. Like I go to yoga class and I just like sob and I can't.
Do you sob?
I'm not normally like I'm an easy crier, but I'm not usually like a sobber. You know.
We had a sobber in our class.
Did he?
Every time he got into the back bends. His name was Sasha.
Every time he got into the back bends?
Yeah, as soon as he got into a back bend, we would just hear him start to whimper.
Oh my God.
And he would just sob.
Poor guy.
I studied Ashtanga, where it's not like a guided class. So there's nobody talking about butterflies and mountains at the top of the class.
Oh, yeah. That's the
worst. Just everybody working out in a hot room, and then instructors walk around and they adjust you. Mm-hmm. So it's totally silent. And every time this guy Sasha got into his back bends, and by the way, if you can get into like deep Ashtanga back bends, you're really advanced, but you're also opening up a lot of different, you know.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like exercise
passages.
Is really cathartic. Like you can really release a lot of like pent up emotions and resentments and memories and all kinds of stuff they get stored in your body. I don't know how it works, but it's evident when you experience it, you know.
What broke my heart was that Sasha, I found out like 2 years after I had left yoga, I got a text message that he passed away in an accident on the 405.
Oh no.
Yeah, he was like a young dude too. It was like, man, he could have been 30.
Well, that's so weird, too, because the 405 is usually so slow. Did we talk about this before?
Are you having deja vu, Angela?
Yes. But I think we talked about it before because you weren't wearing that hat. This is a new hat for you. This is a debut of a new hat. Is this a new look for Dale Wheatley?
Oh, the hat. I've been wearing hats since I was fucking... That was not a new look. It's a black hat.
I know, but you don't usually wear a lid, you know?
I love lids.
Brim.
I love lids. I love these kinds of hats. They're hard to find. Even this one is not exactly how I love them, but I feel like it's okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, but I like hats. I like wearing hats more than I don't have a hairline to sport. I can't like walk around with the Danny McBride, you know, fucking coif. You know what I mean? So
yeah, coif, is that how it's said? I don't know.
Coif, such a terror. You want to talk about bad words? Like you didn't like me talking about shill. Well,
no,
coif is a word that just like
no good reason. There's a lot of words too that I feel like I've read more times than I've heard, so I have no idea how they're like really common words, but I don't know how they're said. I feel like it's that's one of the things that you're just never supposed to do as a civilized person is criticize how somebody pronounces vocabulary words because first of all they know them, right, which is good, and second of all that if they don't know how to pronounce them properly but they're still using them correctly, that means they learn them by reading. And I'm just like, I always feel like that's kind of a win.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
I'm not being critical here.
Quaff?
I'm just saying the word itself.
How's it said?
I don't know. How's it spelled? Q-W-A... No.
It's spelled coif. But I don't...
C-O-I?
Yes. I don't think it's pronounced quaff. I don't know.
Cosmic Urgency says that yoga stresses him out. He hates it.
Yes, it is a miserable way to exercise. But I think that's part of the point.
See, Tracy loves Depeche Mode. See what I'm saying? I feel like I'm missing out on Depeche Mode.
Oh, I can show you because there's some good Depeche Mode.
I need you to take me down the path.
I wasn't like obsessed with them.
I did this with Fish, by the way, because a lot of people hate Fish. But if you get the right Fish, they're fucking special. Or they've had these special moments in music, and I feel like Depeche Mode is one of those. Like that, you have to. And I feel like I've missed it entirely.
Well, there's always like, you know, those bands that people think are good, but then you don't like. It's usually just one person in the band that they don't like.
Right.
Like I think Fish, obviously they're super talented. Nobody would ever argue that they're not extremely talented musicians.
No, I'm not saying that.
But I don't like their lyrics. It sounds like the way they sounds like kids music to me. And it's profound if you listen to it, but I don't know. Way that they're...
I don't know if they're lyrically profound. I think they're lyrically interesting at times.
No, I mean like their storytelling is like it's some deep storytelling, but for the most part, it sounds like kids. You know, like children's books are profound too. You know, but I don't like listening to that music, and I think for Depeche Mode too,
when you're here,
it's a little bit repeaty. You know, it's a little repetitive.
When you're here, I sleep lengthwise, but when you're gone, I sleep diagonal on my bed is a brilliant lyric.
It is good storytelling. It's not a good lyric.
No, you're right. It's a brilliant lyric.
Okay. See, and here's the thing:
Diagonal on my bed is like so melodically perfect.
I know, but
I sleep
and it also
diagonal
doesn't.
on my bed.
He doesn't sound good as a singer.
We're gonna get off this conversation right now.
I'm just stating my opinion.
We don't need to see this.
I'm not saying that this is the truth or anything. I'm just saying that this is my opinion about Fish.
I like
Obviously,
Fish.
I'm in the minority, and I'm comfortable with that.
I like Fish. I don't love Fish. I like the way I used to because they've got too many records I just don't like. But I like
new
the band.
stuff.
Yeah, their new stuff is just I can't get into it. I tried. I'm like because I want to because I loved what they did in the early '90s.
Oh my God, I know. Like I can never say that I'm a fucking Red Hot Chili Peppers fan. Because it was like ancient history when it was like ancient history where they actually made good music, and then fucking Dave Navarro joined the band, and for some reason they changed everything, and now they've sucked ever since. What was that one? I can't remember. Blood Sugar Sex Magic was the last good record of theirs, and even that was kind of pushing it.
Tanner said that he didn't know who we were talking about when we were talking about Cornelius, but he said, which is such a great name. But what he said was, but I'm going to dread the passing of Randy Travis when that time happens. Yeah, he was brilliant, dude. Randy Travis. I remember when he kind of broke into the scene.
See, I'm totally ignorant about that whole genre.
Old. Yeah, Randy Travis is wonderful. He was an actor, too. Like, he had a pretty good run as an actor. Not like Dwight Yoakam good. That's another guy who kicked ass, bro.
See, I think my problem
on both
was
sides. He was a great actor, great musician.
I really regret that I lived in the South. I lived in Texas for just like a little bit. But it was during the Achy Breaky Heart radio hit years. And so there was no way to ever listen to good country because it was just completely like...
There's got to be a way.
The airwaves were totally consumed with this like garbage pop country shit.
Yeah.
And like, it was all in your face too. Like we used to, in elementary school, we used to have to do like line dancing instead of like regular PE class.
That sounds
And
great.
so they would just play like... Billy Ray Cyrus, like constantly.
It could break your heart?
Yeah, it was like being in a torture camp.
Yeah, that's not good.
Like being mandated to do line dancing to Achy Breaky Heart. I was like, get me out of here.
So while we're talking about all these kinds of old timers and whatever else, it turns out that Ozzy Osbourne's charity event concert, the last concert of his life, is the largest non-profit or whatever charity concert in history, like outdoing Live Aid and all that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Even Live Aid.
It's the biggest one in human history.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So the guy did what he did, bro. He fucking left with a stamp, It's like, I've done a lot of crazy things. A lot of people probably think I'm a bad dude. And I'm not going to lie, I'm a controversial motherfucker, and I know it. I tried to kill my wife. Thank God I failed. And but I'm going to leave on a kind note.
I kind of wish you hadn't said all that in the first person because I feel like later on somebody's going to edit that as if it's you saying it.
Wow, have fun. Tom Morello, bro, he's the hero, really.
Tom Morello is really such a...
He said of that
He's
concert,
got the Midas touch, bro. It's amazing.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you get educated, I guess. He said of putting this thing together, he said that all these rock legends, these concerts happen long after their death. And he was like, I wanted Ozzy to see it. I wanted Ozzy to see everybody come together. By the way, Judas Priest didn't show up. And I think it has to do with the fact that KK Downing, who was their former guitarist and forming founding member, and with whom they split over a big dispute that started with KK Downing writing a bunch of letters. It's a very fucking soap opera-y like ending to one of my favorite 80s bands of all time, Judas Priest. And anyway, KK Downing and KK's Priest was invited to that event, the Ozzy Osbourne event, as was Judas Priest. Judas Priest declined, saying that they had a previous engagement. And I got to think Rob Halford regrets that at this moment. I just got to think so. He probably doesn't, but it's just myself saying he does. But why I'm bringing him up is because they did a tribute of War Pigs just prior to the concert. If you haven't seen it, if you haven't heard this modern day Judas Priest doing this cover of War Pigs, go fucking check it out. It is so kick ass in every possible way. By the way, Fun fact. Rob Halford actually led Black Sabbath for a period. So
No way.
he was
Really?
he was the lead singer of Black Sabbath for a minute. Yeah.
Before Ozzy or after Ozzy?
No, well after Ozzy. Yeah, long after when they lost their identity after Ryan James Dio.
Oh yeah, that's right.
left,
Because
they had everybody, bro. It was like a Jeff Beck band at one point,
yeah,
basically.
I see. Ozzy Osbourne was like 19 when he started Black Sabbath, so it wouldn't have been beforehand, unless they were
Definitely
all
not before him. No.
older. Hey, that's neat. I haven't heard that song. How come you haven't played that for me?
I did play it for you. You said, "Holy fuck, that sounds awesome." It was Judas Priest doing War Pigs.
I don't remember that.
I didn't show you the video. By the way, the video itself is pretty badass.
I love that song. I think it's so great.
War Pigs is the greatest fucking, War Machine song ever written. It's got to be, right? The mothership.
Alyssa said Red Hot Chili Peppers lyrics are 10% poetry and 90% Anthony Kiedis naming U.S. cities. And this is true.
That's fucking brilliant.
This is fucking true.
That's really great. Yeah.
I don't think that anybody would have missed him if he was the one that had to be replaced in the band. But
Yeah. It would have been interesting to see if they actually got, if they ended up, going, okay, that was fun. Let's try another singer. And,
oh, yeah, but that never would have happened because they have such great chemistry. But their problem was that they kept losing guitarists. So, one of their guitarists passed away, and then they replaced it with this other incredible guitarist, John Frusciante. And then he had, apparently he had to leave the band because he had to go to rehab, or he wasn't in rehab and that was a problem or something. But then he rejoined.
Under a bridge.
Huh?
He was under a bridge.
He was under a bridge downtown, yeah. And then he rejoined, and but it was...
It was all too late by then.
It was all too late.
Anthony Kiedis was long gone.
Then he was doing sing-songy. Nobody ever asked you to fucking sing, dude.
Well, I saw the Blood Sex Magic tour. Well, I saw the Lollapalooza tour.
Yeah, you're so lucky.
Yeah.
Because I went and
good.
I saw them. The very first concert I ever went to was them, and I was obsessed with them. I was a bass playing girl when I was a teenager.
Yes.
I was obsessed with them. I wanted to be just like Flea. And so I went to the concert, and I did not know that they dropped a new album and that they were playing exclusively that new album. And they didn't play any of their previous...
That's infuriating.
Yeah, so Dave Navarro went on tour with them for their album One Hot Minute, and the change from their previous sound to their new sound was so stark that the whole time me and my girlfriends were like, what the fuck is this? This is garbage. The whole time in the concert. Totally disappointing.
That's super frustrating, man.
I know.
It happened to me with Judas Priest too, because when Rob Halford left that band, and then they brought in this guy called Tim the Ripper or whatever.
Tim the Ripper Owens.
Well, if you know of the movie Rockstar with Mark Wahlberg, that was really about this guy, Tim Ripper Owens or whatever, because he was like this. He was in a Priest cover band. Rob Halford exited the band. And one of the Priest members went and saw him because everybody was like, you gotta go see this guy. He covers you guys, and he was like, holy fuck! And so they hired him, and he is actually the lead singer now for KK's Priest, which played on the Ozzy gig. But anyway,
Rockstar with Mark Wahlberg. How did they? I had never even knew this happened.
It's a bad movie.
Yeah, I don't think anybody ever talked about it.
It's loosely based on the Tim Ripper Owens. I think that's his name, Tim Ripper Owens. Ripper some shit. No, Ripper? Anyway.
Wannabe Rockstar who fronts a Pennsylvania-based tribute band is devastated when they kick him out of the group he founded.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, well. I think I'll continue skipping this one. Sorry to say.
Oh, right. Cosmic Urgency is asking, what band did Sharon have a conflict with and kicked off the lineup? In this concert? I don't know. That she always seems to have a beef with somebody, doesn't she? I don't know if that's like a thing or whatever, but it just seems like I've heard so many beefs with her from other bands, like through Ozfest and just through the whole... It seems like her whole career with running the Ozzy show.
Yeah, what's her problem?
It was very interesting. What's that?
What's her problem?
Whose problem?
What is the problem they usually have with her?
Shit, she strong arms people. She's rude, and she's she also fires people, blacklists people. Jakey Lee was the guitarist on Bark at the Moon. He has a whole lot to say about Sharon Osbourne and how she kind of fucked up his Ozzy Osbourne experience or whatever. It's a kind of a weird situation because Ozzy Osbourne was the only reason Ozzy Osbourne saw his 76th birthday is probably because of Sharon Osbourne. Ozzy Osbourne was like imagine if every single one of the greats that died going, going as far back as you want. Imagine if they had an intervention with somebody who's willing to get to nearly be killed for their rehabilitation.
Yeah, they're like, Ozzy, we feel as though you may be going off the rails on the crazy train.
I gotta like come up with a sound effect.
Is that how it goes?
No, it's a funny joke. I love it. I kid. Yes, it's very funny, but yes, exactly. Anyway, it's a wild situation, but I really do. I don't think that Ozzy Osbourne would have seen 76 were it not for the fact that this woman came into his life and was able to, just bring him in and reel him in enough to survive.
Yeah, man. It's really, that's like a huge win to get somebody who's like addicted and has this, this persona they identify with being a rock star, right? Like, how do you get that guy sober? It's got to be so difficult. So that's like a huge accomplishment.
Congrats to Ozzy Osbourne. For him to go out with that kind of a bang is pretty incredible. For him to play his last concert and die 2 weeks later, for him to feel like his life had been completed in that moment, ostensibly, right, is legendary in itself, So once again, controversial guy, lots of stories coming, I'm sure, but what a story, what a storied life.
Mm-hmm.
And that he was able to do something like beat out Michael Jackson and that whole crew with Tom Morello and a lot of metal.
So who in the original Black Sabbath survives?
All of them except Ozzy.
Really?
Yeah, Geezer's here. Bill Ward's here. Bill Ward can't play the drums no more.
Geezer Butler. That's another name. That's another weird name. A weird celebrity name.
I love Geezer Butler. Well, Geezer can't be his birth name. He's a geezer. He was called a geezer.
I just, I won't tolerate this suggestion that people have to have normal names.
Tony Iommi, they're all alive. They all played they played with Ozzy, didn't they?
Geezer Butler has got to be like, that's such a typical UK like slang.
One of my favorite bass players of all time, right there.
Okay, his name is Terrence Michael Joseph.
No, it's not. It's Geezer.
They couldn't call him Terry.
Yeah, you couldn't call him Terry.
Terrence Michael Joseph Butler.
That's so great that he got to be like, I don't know, like I'm fine with Dale Wheatley, but if somebody came out with a name like Geezer Wheatley and it's stuck, I would be just thrilled.
Let's do it.
I'd get a fucking tattoo with Geezer on it. I'd buy the whole fucking program. Nobody ever. You know what I got for nicknames? I got D Dubs, no good. I got like Wheats.
Here's the story.
Wheats is
dumb.
It's weak sauce.
Do you want to hear the story?
Yeah.
Butler adopted the nickname Geezer at an early age. He said, in quotes, "It came because when I was at school, my brother was in the army, and he was based with a lot of Cockneys, and people in London call everybody a geezer. It means just a man, like, hello, mate. It's just like somebody calling you dude over there in the U.S. In England, I'd be geezer, so my brother used to come home from leave from the army, and he'd be going, hello, geezer. How are you, geezer? So because I had looked up to my brother when I was about 7 years old, I'd go to school calling everybody a geezer. So that's how I got cursed with it.
Well, I love it. It's so legendary now.
It's adorable. It's
my ex called her Auntie Rita E because Rita's husband would call her Ree. And when she was a baby, she would hear it as E, and so you just call E.
That happens so much in families.
Everybody calls her E.
That happens so much in families that the baby who can't talk yet gives everybody their nicknames.
Yeah. So she got a whole but the whole family adopted it. Like she was introduced to me. I met her obviously when I got married, and she was introduced to me as her Aunt E. I didn't even know until much later after being married to her that her name was actually Rita.
I wonder what it's like for the one person in the family who doesn't want to be named by the cute kid. I'd be like, yeah, she can't pronounce my name.
Off. My name's Dale.
Exactly. Yeah, she can't pronounce my name. Why is it supposed to stick? Oh, I'm the jerk for not making a name change because this kid's an idiot.
Delicate saying that she can't believe I don't like Depeche Mode. Policy of the Truth is her favorite of all time. I hate Chili Peppers, so I get it. I'm listen. I haven't discovered Depeche Mode. I need help. I'm here for your help. I'm asking for the intervention. I'm saying I have a Depeche Mode problem, and I need it to be corrected.
Yeah, I'll help you out. That's a great suggestion. Also, I hate Chili Peppers, so I get it. Here's the thing, dude. It's like I've never experienced this kind of betrayal with a band, where they do like 4 albums that sound awesome.
Seriously, they have such a cool fucking groove.
Yeah, and they have variety between the albums too, and you're like, cool, like we're growing. And then they completely changed their sound so much. This happened to fans of Incubus. I don't know if you remember, but Incubus used to be a metal band.
I know Incubus.
And then they turned into they got famous and they decided to make like pop music.
Yeah. It's kind of like Taylor Swift.
Everybody
she was a country
so
artist, and then she was like, "Nah, you know what? I'm a pop star."
Yeah, I know, but the crossover for that is a lot easier to.
I kid.
But here's the thing, like
I kid Taylor Swift.
I used to be such a huge fan. Like I used to just pictures of Flea and shit all over all my my Trapper Keepers and shit, And then now if I hear them on the radio, like their recent shit, which is like 20 years old at this point, I'm like it's like revulsion. Like I can't stand it. Like they're the worst band I've ever heard.
Yeah, well. Alyssa has some questions. She said, Dale, I've always wondered what exactly made Toby so against Don's Plum being released. Was it really about protecting his image or something deeper? Because I feel like Leo's emerging stardom would give Toby a sense of security because they had that pact that they would help each other. So was it really about protecting his image to get roles? Or was it because he didn't want you or RD possibly becoming more successful than him? So it's interesting that you say that because I thought it was that at the for a while, that latter suggestion was the one that I thought for a long time that it was that. It really wasn't until I read that James Cameron, whose NDAs are so fucking tight, Jeremy's sister didn't even tell me he was testing. Or that he tested with...
Yeah, and you just saw a video where he's basically like
and
on
we
the
talked
Titanic.
about all the fucking movies he was on all the time.
Yeah.
It was just common, but seriously, like James Cameron's like, if you break an NDA, you break his trust, and if you break his trust, you can't be in his movies. So when he tells you shut the fuck up, indeed you shut the fuck up. My brother worked for James Cameron and wouldn't even tell me, and we were blood, you know what I mean? And he was like, nah, I can't tell you nothing, bro. I'm sorry, off limits. So, and he was doing a fucking graphic novel. He wasn't even working on a movie. So, when I found out that James Cameron, when I had that memory that James Cameron in 1995 announced that he felt like technologically speaking, Spider-Man was an achievable feature film and that he had a scriptment that he was ready to move forward with, I just, I had this memory of it. It just hit me. I was like, oh shit, I remember this now. And I went and researched that, and this is while I was writing the book. And that's when I discovered that Leo was up for the role
of Spider-Man,
and that he and James Cameron had actually met on it. And again, nothing Leo spoke about. The only time Leo ever spoke about James Cameron was when he said that he had to make a choice between Titanic. So the offer was there, and he spoke with us, in that group. It's in the book where he asked us.
It's in what book?
I'm sorry?
It's in what book?
It's in the book Too Real a Hollywood Memoir, written by yours truly, Dale Wheatley. Motherfuckers. So I really believe that that's what happened. I believe that he got this manager called Eric Kranzler. Eric Kranzler was like all about it. And Tobey Maguire was getting boy next door kind of looks. And when James Cameron announced Peter Parker, I honestly, like if I managed Tobey Maguire back in the 90s and I heard about Peter Parker, I would immediately put that on him. Like instantly. Because he's a nerd and Peter Parker is a fucking nerd. Like he's got a nerd. He can play a nerd in a minute, right? Tobey Maguire in a fucking minute.
Evidently.
So I truly believe that that's the origin of, that whole problem. I believe the problem comes from Toby wanting to get... Don's Plum was a massive obstacle because we succeeded. So it was like he's a gambling man. And I think Tobey Maguire was gambling on the idea that Leo DiCaprio was just going to shut Don's Plum down after he saw it. That once he saw it, he was going to be like, I can't have this movie out there. It's not going to work for me, guys. I'm sorry. And we had an agreement with him that if he said that, we would do that. That was our agreement. All Leo had to say at the time of the screening, or at the time of the his agent's screening, was, no, thank you. I'm not. You can't put this movie out. And Don's Plum would have never come out, and I would have never argued about it. Maybe with him, because our friendship may have continued, and if it did, I would have probably had a few words about it here and there. Like dropping words at his house. Like, hey, maybe you got a movie coming out this year? No. Well, I got one for you. It would have been like that. But instead, what happened was that we succeeded. And when we succeeded, that threw, I think, Tobey's plan for a complete loop. Because throughout the whole period, Tobey was saying over and over again, whatever Leo decides is good with me.
You could tell when he says it that he is, like in his depositions, when everybody is saying that all along the way he said it.
Yeah.
That he didn't have any conflict with anything you guys were doing. He was always just like, listen, if it's cool with Leo, then it's cool with me. I'll do whatever Leo does.
Correct.
It does sound so clearly like he was just going to follow Leo's lead to disapprove the movie when that happened.
I think it's very likely that he thought, that Tobey thought that, he like double dipping on it, if you will. So like, I think he's like not sure if he should let it go. Like he knew that Don's Plum would be an art house success.
Yeah, didn't he use Don's Plum footage in his reels?
Well, yeah, in the book, he comes and gets footage to send over to Lasse Hallström for Cider House Rules.
So here he is recognizing the value in Don's Plum for everybody's acting careers right before he decides to.
That's a bit of a digression from where I am on this, but yeah, that's exactly right. He does do that.
Before you had remembered this, James Cameron having Spider-Man.
Yeah, I thought it was exactly what Alyssa said, in that I thought it was that he didn't want anyone else, especially me and RD, to succeed ahead or more than him.
Yeah.
Ahead of or
and
more than him.
And that's what I thought too when I was reading through all of the depositions from the lawsuit. Tobey is really forthright about how he always felt like he was in competition with his friends. And he always wanted to make sure, he thought that he was next in line. Like he had this whole vision of this hierarchy.
Yeah.
And he knew where his place was on this like imagined hierarchy that obviously doesn't exist,
Yeah.
But that's how he sorted his own friends into this lineup. And he thought that he was next to succeed.
Well,
but
yeah.
that would have meant in his mind that Kevin Connolly, who did really well in Don's Plum, was not next to succeed, and that RD and you were not next to succeed.
It's why this theory.
And he doesn't really do very well in Don's Plum. His performance, like especially in the first 10 minutes, he makes a lot of really fucking weird choices. So he might have seen something like that and been like, "Wow, this isn't really me next to succeed. So maybe this has got to go."
Yeah. I mean, I think that Tobey Maguire wanted to use Don's Plum if he needed it. When he realized that he didn't, or that it could even actually be worse than that it would be a problem. Look, I think the only reason, here's the thing that this whole like the mystery of Tobey Maguire and Don's Plum. Why so urgently, right? Why did he have to move so quickly? And obviously it was because we were about to close a deal and we were about to get a distribution contract with either Miramax or Trimark. Those were the two real front runners, perhaps First Look, but we don't need to split those hairs. But why? Why so suddenly? And I think it's because James Cameron was looking for Peter Parker, and he knew, and this is the thing, because Leo would have kept it tight-lipped, but not with Tobey probably. Tobey knew everything. Tobey was like Leo's lover in terms of the connection they had.
No, it's true. I think if Leo wasn't going to take the role, he was going to try and give it to one of his friends, and he knew who would have been a better Peter Parker.
Because they would have that's not even that, Angela.
They would have dyed Leo's hair. You know what I mean?
It's not even that. He wouldn't try to give it to one of his friends. Leo wouldn't have. That's not
really?
true. No, not at all. Tobey. I believe.
So why do you tell him?
I believe that I strongly believe in a very high possibility that Leonardo DiCaprio and Tobey Maguire made a deal when they were testing for This Boy's Life. Because, in case you don't know the story, This Boy's Life, which was the breakout role for Leonardo DiCaprio, it's the role that made everybody take this kid seriously, and everyone put that kid immediately on an Oscar path, on that kind of a trajectory, on a River Phoenix trajectory. That was after This Boy's Life, starring Robert De Niro and Ellen Burstyn. And Leonardo DiCaprio and Tobey Maguire were both up for the lead role. They both tested for the lead role.
The lead role, who is named Tobias, by the way.
Yeah,
which
the
is
lead role,
Toby's
that's true.
same name.
Yeah, the lead role. Can you imagine?
He must have felt like it was destined.
Exactly what I was about to say.
He was destined for it.
You read my mind. That is destiny right there, man. You're going to play the role of Tobias across from Robert De Niro. It's the break of a lifetime, and it was.
Yeah.
And it was the break of a lifetime. And I believe, now they were already friends, Leo and Toby, from being on the rehearsal, the same basic rehearsal circuit, if you will, right? So these guys were already close, dude. They were already deeply close friends. And I believe that when they were both up for the test, that they made a fucking deal that whoever gets it is going to help the other guy. Because it's just what happens in Hollywood. I feel so right about this. It's totally conjecture on my part. Nobody has told me that. I feel so right about it. I feel like it's the truth.
Okay.
Maybe it's not.
So why are you? It sounds like you're saying the same thing that I did. So why were you? Why did you correct me when I said that?
No, you said he would give it to any of his friends, and I'm saying no. I'm saying he had a very specific focus and a very specific bond, a blood brother bond with one guy. He never spoke to anybody. I mean, that's why I included the scene between him and Jay. I remember that moment so distinctly because it taught me in that moment that, wow, these guys are actually separate but together. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
they're in competition with each other.
They like sit across from each other, passing this and passing that and having a good time. But in reality, they're kind of at war.
That's interesting.
So I truly believe that Tobey Maguire saw a different career path, and that the rawness of Don's Plum interfered with what was going to be that portfolio. And the thing is that we kind of got this blessing and curse at the same time. When we started Don's Plum, Tobey Maguire was a flat tire in Hollywood. He was just doing nothing. And then he landed this Griffin Dunne. If you don't know who that is, he was the star of An American Werewolf in London. And he was making his directorial debut with this short film called Duke of Groove. And he cast Tobey Maguire. And because Griffin Dunne was this sort of like, everybody was cheering for him in Hollywood, everybody wanted Griffin Dunne to be a successful director in Hollywood. Don't ask me why. I guess he made a lot of friends, right? And they knew his acting career was all but, a wrap. And so I think everyone was just really rooting for this guy to have another career, a subsequent career in Hollywood. And that was going to be as a director. He directed The Duke of Groove. It went all the way to the Academy Awards, that short. It got nominated for Best Short Movie. Tobey Maguire's face was played on the Academy Awards stage and screen for all those to see. And that was the big change in the career. And that attracted Eric Kranzler. If Eric Kranzler wasn't already attached, I can't quite remember exactly the timeline there. But it gave them all the... it gave them all the material they needed to go out and start really shaping a visionary career. What's really hard in Hollywood is like to find what somebody is, because sometimes Hollywood has to find out what you are, as opposed to you finding out what you are. Like in more often than not, artists who are asking to be paid have a vision for themselves that is completely incongruent with the vision that others see them as in these higher positions, such as agents or studio heads or directors, right? Filmmakers. So I think Toby saw himself as this like art house guy, and this was the scene, right? Like everybody was big art house, right? It was all about that. It was all about landing the big art house movies, working with Ang Lee, working with, Jim Jarmusch, working with the big guys, right? The big art house guys. Woody Allen, of course, right? And that was the scene. That was what everybody craved. That was what everybody was winning with in Hollywood.
And so then a superhero movie just changed all of that for him.
And the superhero movies were, they weren't like what they are today.
No, of course
not.
I
mean, Spider-Man really started it.
Yeah.
The start of the Marvel era was Spider-Man, really, for sure. So I guess you could say it could have been X-Men, but it doesn't matter. It was one of those two, right? And it was right in that. So he was right at the beginning, at the, the inception of this craze. Anyway, changed the game, bro.
You mentioned Griffin Dunne, and he's such an interesting, he was working so much for a short time, and then he kind of just disappeared. But he just recently wrote a memoir.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
Here's how
He's a
the
competitor of mine now.
he's in your world.
Don't tell him about his memoir, bro. What are you doing? No, I'm kidding.
He said, so his memoir synopsis goes, at 8, Sean Connery saved him from drowning. At 13, desperate to hook up with Janis Joplin, he attended his aunt Joan Didion and uncle John Gregory Dunn's legendary LA launch party for Tom Wolfe's The Electric Kool-Aid Acid Test. At 16, he got kicked out of boarding school, ending his institutional education for good. In his early 20s, he shared an apartment with Manhattan Hotel de Artistes with his best friend and soulmate Carrie Fisher while she was filming some sci-fi movie called Star Wars. And he was a struggling actor working as a popcorn concessionaire at Radio City Music Hall. A few years later, he produced and starred in the now iconic film After Hours, directed by Martin Scorsese. In the midst of it all, Griffin's 22-year-old sister Dominique, a rising star in Hollywood, was brutally strangled to unaliving by her ex-boyfriend, leading to one of the most infamous public trials of the 1980s. What a crazy memoir.
Drops a lot of names.
I won't continue reading, but man, that guy's life is packed.
Jam-packed.
And he got it all in 400 pages.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how they do it. I just go on too much about everything, don't I?
Well, it's good reading, though. And you also make a lot of space with dialogue, you know? Griffin Dunn, his memoir is called The Friday Afternoon Club, and it was released, I can't tell if it's 2024 or 2025.
It was right around the same time as mine, yeah.
Yeah, June 2024. Neat.
Right. I went in September. I'm going to whoop his ass. Taking Griffin Dunn down.
I was trying to make a joke in my head about done and down, but I couldn't figure it out.
Done is done. Well, anyway,
you're going Griffin down.
That does sound. It sounds. It's it's like, how do you not put that in your? I didn't want to put DiCaprio's name in my back cover because I just I didn't want any reason for that guy to try and pretend like.
Well, literally all of these names are people that are deceased.
Well, yeah, that would help if they were deceased.
Except for Martin Scorsese, but that's just a credit.
Right.
You and Griffin Dunn. So what did you have you had Blake Lively on your thumbnail? You wanted to talk about some things? Did you have some items on your thumbnail of things you wanted to talk about?
We've been covering them, man.
Okay, what else?
Blake Lively, she filed a paper with the court in Texas.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like a clarification brief, like she wanted to make the courts recognize. It's a very revealing brief because when we had talked about Blake Lively fighting this thing, whether or not she was going to take it to the to Texas, right?
Okay, Blake Lively lost her she's not able to sue Jed Wallace in New York.
Her case against Jed Wallace was dismissed by Judge Lyman for jurisdiction. God damn it. Jurisdiction, whatever. I'm not even drinking. Anyway, they threw that shit out. And he said that it was because, Jed Wallace has no residency in New York. There was no business in New York.
Right.
There was no jurisdiction over this transaction. As far as
the PR companies
Lyman,
he was working with are based in California, and then he and his own business are based in Texas, but he never had any business in New York.
So Lyman said, "Look, you can refile, and we can look at it again. So he's willing to look at the case again and see if there is something that could tie him to New York and." I immediately thought, well, Blake Lively is just going to go sue him in Texas. Why not just go do it in Texas?
Because that's the place where, for sure, he has no jurisdictional argument.
He can't. Well, he's from Texas. There's no way he can get out. That's where he sued her.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes. So exactly right. So I thought, I personally just thought, why wouldn't you just go sue him in Texas then? And of course, it's because the rules are different. The laws are different. So she wrote the Texas court today, and the reason she wrote the Texas court is she wanted to clarify with that court that Judge Lyman's decision was not a decision based on merits, but was based on a technicality, the jurisdiction, and wanted to make sure the court understood that she's still got a case, but that the judge was not in his ruling, Judge Lyman's ruling, the judge was not declaring that Texas was the venue, right, or should be the venue at all. and that his ruling does not mean that whatsoever. And that's very telling right there, because to say that means to say she is avoiding Texas at all cost.
Oh.
So I still looking around about that, which is that, it's all about the anti-SLAPP. So the anti-SLAPP in Texas is basically a joke, a very stripped down version of it compared to what you get in California and now in New York. New York having recently buffed it up.
And the anti-SLAPP statutes are basically like they're against, they protect people from retaliatory lawsuits, right?
Exactly that. So it actually would be probably risque for her to...
Risque.
Maybe not risque.
Risky?
It is risky. Well, maybe she's like in lingerie. Who knows? Shows up in lingerie. Denied this court. Risky. Yeah. Might be too risky for her. She might lose.
Yeah, I think so too.
She might, it's not, and she might lose based on like,
She
really,
has an excellent case in California. He'll argue jurisdiction there, but I don't think that he'll prevail.
Well, the issue that what he's facing there is that, first of all, at the time that this happened, he was there. He was in California. So at the time, or not that, he formed the corporation at the time that they engaged in all of this in California. And he was located in California and then moved. So it's fairly recent that he moved to Texas. Not long after his original incorporation, however. So the majority of his operations have taken place in Texas. But she's a resident of California. These PR firms some of them are based in California. I think she's going to win jurisdiction in California. If not, I think she'll fold up fold up shop and call it a day.
Oh no, she'd take it to Texas after that.
Well, I don't know that she will. So you might think so, but I don't think so. And the reason I don't think so is because I don't think they have the rule book they need to get the kind of rulings that they need. And then so I think he becomes a more valuable witness than he does anything else.
Yeah, I think that's why he's trying to draw it to Texas. I think you're right about that. I think she's definitely going to have a strong case in California because he was working with companies, directly with companies, getting paid from companies in California, So he can't say that there's no jurisdiction there. He's a contractor that's working for California companies.
Exactly. This is the part that I understand. Like, you can't go and so I can go hide in certain places that have favorable laws. Is like, what is this, Europe all of a sudden? Are we like now putting our banks?
What is this, Europe?
I'm putting my money in Texas to avoid taxation. What's going on? Yeah. No, but in all seriousness, this is America, dude. You can't hide in Texas. That's bullshit.
Yeah, but doesn't America still have I don't know anything about banking or anything, but
I'm saying if you're in America,
they have Swiss banks, right?
Yes, exactly.
That are relaxed. And then we have Delaware corporations, right, that are also relaxed. Isn't that true?
Well, no, it's different.
You don't have to explain.
I won't. But they're ostensibly they're trying to hide things in Texas. They want to hide. He wants to be able to do business in all these different states with all these different people in all these different states. But if a fight breaks out, you have to come to his house. So he gets to go and piss everybody off in all these other states. Go, no, bitch, you got to come to my house if you want to get me. And that's garbage. That's got to be bullshit. Do you know what I'm saying? You can't do business in these states and not expect to have to defend yourself in them as well.
Yeah, I think he also had, it was alleged that he had bought farms in Hawaii. And then I think somebody was mentioning D.C.
Every time you say
Florida.
that, I always think B-O-U-G-H-T. He had bought farms.
Oh, B-O-U.
For a very large sum of money. Bought farms, B-O-T farms, yes.
Right.
What do we got? Do you want to hit some... we haven't done any of the comments in TikTok. Do you want to hit some of them up?
Yeah. First, here on YouTube, Cosmic Urgency said, Catherine Bigelow almost directed an X-Men movie produced by James Cameron starring Angela Bassett as Storm in the 90s.
Oh.
I'll never get over what could have been.
Oh, my God. Really, that would have been brilliant for sure.
Spider-Man getting offered to James Cameron is what caused him to move on from X-Men, and then his Spider-Man didn't even happen.
Yeah, it didn't.
That's a shame.
I mean, he's a fast-moving dude anyway, James Cameron, in terms of okay, fine, next, because the guy's fucking got the whole world.
Yeah, because he
at
has
his
to go
fingertips.
spelunking in the bottom of the ocean, all the time,
That's so funny. He's a spelunker.
In submersibles that actually, stay intact because he's not a dumbass.
Virginia says, boo. What's up, Virginia? Good to see you on TikTok.
Mandy said, absolutely loving the cap. It suits you.
Oh yeah. Cheers. See, look at that.
You should just do one of these.
Watch Deadwood.
Jenna said, Dale and Angela and hat.
That's very funny.
It's adorable.
It's so funny because like you guys have been, this is our 53rd episode on YouTube, but on TikTok this is like 200 something.
Dude.
And this is the first time I wore a cap.
Mr. Hans 58 is at it again.
Yeah, what do you do? What do you do?
I'm gonna cry laughing. It's so funny.
What did Mr. Hans say? Dude, she had to go off camera.
A buddy cop movie.
You can't do that. You get onto the mic, bro. What are you fucking doing?
It's too funny.
No, you just have to read it. Well, here, I'll put it on me then. Hang on. Just do it. Read it.
A buddy cop movie in which Dale Wheatley and Leonardo DiCaprio must team up to rescue Jerry Swindoll.
I love it. I'm in. I'm in. I'm fucking opposite Leo, dude. I'm gonna at least get 60 grand. You got Angela literally crying, bro. What did you do? You're ruining the live. You got to stop with this Jerry Swindoll shit. You're ruining my live because look at Angela. She's undressing.
I'm not undressed.
Well, you took your headphones off.
Yeah, because I gotta go wipe my eyes.
Now she's leaving. She's excused herself. Like she's bumping the mic. It's just like it's a
Stop live tweeting my departure.
Well, we're on live. You can't just get up and walk away. David Letterman would never just get up and walk away, or Ed McMahon. Do you guys know who Ed McMahon is? I know you guys do. Oh my God, that's so funny. I like your movie idea very much. I think it's got legs. I'm a guy who likes to know the ending. So do you have an ending? Do you know the ending? I have a couple in mind that immediately strike me. But if you know the ending, I think you should share it with us immediately. What is the ending of that movie?
Well, you obviously rescue Jerry Swindoll.
Do we rescue Jerry Swindoll? Do we?
Of course you
do we? I don't know. Why do you get to make that up?
Or it could be like in that movie, The Nice Guys.
Starring Jerry Swindoll?
No. The Nice Guys with Russell Crowe and Gosling.
Are you okay?
Yes, I'm funny. I had a laugh. Okay, are you okay? Having a little panic about how I thought it was super, super funny. That's a really funny joke. I also just love how it's like newly creative, like running joke the whole time.
Yeah.
Every time this guy shows up. That's really great. That was super rewarding.
It's super entertaining. Thank you for coming here and entertaining us with your extremely good sense of humor.
Negatives he wants to burn. Leo and Dale reluctantly team up. Oh, okay. Sorry, I missed this.
Yeah, because you're too busy crying.
Stop making fun of me. A buddy cop movie in which Dale Wheatley and Leonardo DiCaprio must team up to rescue Jerry Swindoll. Todd Beckman has kidnapped Jerry Swindoll and is holding him hostage in exchange for the Don's Plum negatives he wants to burn. Leo and Dale reluctantly team up to retrieve the negatives and save him.
It's so funny because he's got the cane. Todd Beckman's got the cane.
Oh my God, he's such a villain.
He's just a villain.
It's so funny. Yeah, he's like you could really dress him up too, like a Dick Tracy villain,
By the way, when I knew I was in trouble with that interview after it all occurred, but I knew I was in trouble with that director, Stephen Greenstreet, because he called me up and he's like, you know what? I really, really like Todd Beckman. And I was like, oh boy, I'm in trouble. Because Todd Beckman's like...
Not likable.
Not a very likable guy, especially to this story or to me.
Yeah. I was like,
so when he said that, I was like, oh boy, this documentary is not going to be good.
It's weird how morally flimsy people kind of like each other.
I like that term.
Morally flimsy?
Yeah. I shall buy it.
For 2 cents.
$7 American. That
was really funny. Yes, we are all caught up. There are other comments, but because they're out of context. Vicious Vixen wants to know, when did Cider House Rules come in?
All I remember is that he came in and asked for... Toby came in. All I remember is Toby coming into the mansion and asking for us to put scenes from Don's Plum onto a reel.
While you were editing.
While we were editing, so that he could give it to Lasse Holstrom. And this was when he was on hiatus or something like that after
this
the
was
ice storm.
Before the MGM screening.
Yes.
So, because Toby was out of town at that point.
Yeah, months before, I would say. 2 or 3 months.
Was it after then, the screening? Had Toby come back into town when this happened? No.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm lost. When what happened?
Toby was out of town for the MGM screening.
Yes.
So did he come by looking for clips of Don's Plum for his reel afterwards when he got back? Or was it before?
No, it was before the MGM screening.
Okay.
I believe. Yes, it was before. After the MGM screening, it was only 2 or 3 weeks after that we lost our movie. How fucking nuts is that? God. It's just such a crazy thing. Unbelievable. So the other thing that we didn't cover yet is that Kohberger was sentenced today.
Yes.
To his expected multi-life sentence, where I learned today that he's going to live in solitary 23 hours a day.
The judge didn't say that? I saw that on social media.
No, the judge did say it, actually.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
When he was kind of trying to assure, there's the one family member, one survivor who has been extremely going through a lot and really pouring out in the social medias. You know who I'm talking about? Yeah,
I think that's Casey Gonsalves' father.
Going through it, man. And
are you talking about the guy who was against the plea deal?
Against the plea deal, yeah. Once wanted Kohberger to have to stand up and say his daughter's name. He wanted her to. He wanted him to have to tell him what was the last thing she did or said, or what he did specifically to her.
Yeah, that poor guy, man.
He's going through that,
and needs grief counseling.
There's no part of anyone who is not ready to go through it with him in terms of those involved. It seems, and I would hope. But anyway, the judge seemed to address him when he was talking about the solitary and just the fact that, this guy's gone to jail. He's gone for the rest of his life. I couldn't be happier about the way this has gone.
Yeah, he also didn't make any statement, which I think was probably a great choice.
It was a great choice, and I'm glad that he didn't get a chance to speak and, potentially invoke, an incredibly huge reaction, not only publicly, but in the courtroom itself. But really what I'm glad about is that we didn't have to, the American people did not have to get put through this trial. This was a trial that I think would have been more damaging than anything else to all of us. It was that heinous of a crime. And then on top of, the absolute hideous nature of this crime is also the fact that he, I'll just stop there actually. I'm just glad that he got, Tanner says he wants to know why.
Tanner says, I want to know why. The judge actually made a statement about that. The judge said that wanting to know why gives him power, right? So the ball's in his court. There's something that he has that he can leverage now.
And this was
I have information that you want, so you guys are going to have to do what I want in order to get this information. So the judge was really encouraging everybody to just let that go because that disempowers Kohberger.
Yeah, and he was. I think this is when he was speaking specifically to that survivor whose last name I constantly forget. Gonsalves. He was speaking directly to that survivor when he was talking about how by wanting to know, you're giving him the power to be able to, one thing he mentioned was you can't rely on anything he actually says.
That was another really great point. We already know
he's a liar. We know what he is. So why would you give him the power to be able to manipulate you any way he wants to in this situation? Because he's the only one who has this information. He can tell you anything he wants. It doesn't have to be true. And it often isn't. Think about that one. Remember that serial killer that they've done now many specials on all the true crime shows? It's the guy, the false confession guy.
Yes.
The guy who they took him to all and they basically were feeding him enough information for him to be able to just create a false confession. And he confessed to 100+ murders, and it was lies. It was all just lies.
Yeah, he's developmentally disabled, but he definitely did clock the cops for he knew exactly what they wanted, and he knew how to extract it from them by soliciting gifts.
He was going on car rides.
I know, and they all bought it.
He was getting milkshakes. The cop loved him.
There were some people were suspicious, because they're like, wow, you're the most prolific that ever was. Let's figure out whether any of these are possible. And he would have had to be in 3 states within a day of each other. It was just completely impossible. that he could have traveled.
Oh yeah, when it
fast.
finally unraveled. But it turned out that it was very easy to figure out that the guy was a total liar. But as it was going on, people were buying into it. And what obviously is most important here is that he was a fucking liar, because he was an actual killer and an actual serial killer. But he just kept admitting to all these different crimes because he was getting these like cheeseburger meals, and he was going on these car rides, and he was getting all this fame and attention. And there was just all these like great perks to him just admitting to a bunch of murders that were unsolved. And not only was the public and the sheriff himself, eager to assist him in all of this and give him this, not only the stage, but the spotlight for him to be able to just like, confess to all these ridiculous confessions to all these horrible crimes. Anyway, so it turns out, the point is these guys have the capacity to lie. Why give Kohberger any of that fucking power? Right. Don't give him that power. And so everything that the judge said made sense to me. I really love that the way the case was handled. As I was saying, I believe that the DA handled it actually perfectly. I think leveraging the capital punishment against a plea deal is a totally smart thing to do. In the end, this man is going to be exactly where he needs to be, locked up 23 hours a day reading books.
Here's one interesting thing. I couldn't make a prediction because obviously this isn't the 1970s, but Kohberger was very enamored with Ted Bundy. Like, he apparently was really focused on learning about him and studying him and his criminology. Like, he's a criminology PhD. I'm not sure what his PhD is, but he was...
Well, he was a candidate, right?
A criminology student. Anyway, well... Ted Bundy famously escaped from prison. He lost a lot of weight and nobody thought anything of it. They were like, oh, well, I guess he's just really depressed because he went to prison.
He was such a legendary killer, dude.
He was deliberately losing weight because he knew...
He was a real killer's killer, that guy.
Because he really wanted to fit through a grate in the ceiling, and he ended up doing it, and he escaped. And there was this huge manhunt in the state in which he escaped, but he went straight down to Florida. It was I think he was in Wisconsin or Minnesota, some northern state. I can't remember exactly where. It wasn't Washington, where he did most of his crimes. I can't remember. But he went straight to Florida. And then he committed a bunch of more crimes. And the crimes that he committed in Florida are the ones that are most like what Kohberger did, where he went into a sorority house and he, obviously ravaged the place.
The why is because he's a psychopath. The why is because he was studying to be a serial killer. The why isn't there. There is no why that's comprehensible to any.
No,
of us.
I think they want to know, why did you target these specific girls? Like, how did they somehow it has been determined that they didn't have any social media contact. That was alleged before, but that apparently wasn't true. I've also heard that maybe he used to go to a restaurant that they were waiting tables at. I don't know where they made contact. I don't know how he got contact with them to stalk them. And I think that's the question. Like, how did they cross paths in the first place?
I think the parents are going to find that out. The one thing that the judge also brought up during sentencing was that he really encourages that Kohberger be studied.
Yeah.
He said, we should learn from this guy. And this, of course, I think, speaking directly to the sort of low-key, potentially brewing controversy around his professor, with whom he studied criminology, but specifically serial killers. She's an author of many, many books, has interviewed serial killers, including famous ones, I believe.
Yeah.
BTK.
Yeah, she wrote a BTK book.
So she's extremely, she's just one of the sort of big minds in this space. And so I think the judge was speaking directly to her because the outspoken survivor was also against that very much.
Oh yeah, of course.
He was like,
yeah, nobody wants,
because he felt like it was giving him attention.
Yeah, well, also, excuse me, they don't want their child's, worst day to be exploited by the person who caused it.
Vicious Vixen said that Bundy escaped twice, and that's true. I remember that. He did.
He must have felt real stupid the second time.
I got you the book, bro. You got to read the book. So anyway, Kohberger's gone forever, and I think that it worked out really well. I think the world was spared this trial. I'm so glad it didn't happen because I think it's too much of a gore fest for us. And I think it's just an aggrandizement of this man and everything he wanted to be and do anyway. It's to me, I hope that this country can start adopting a more like shut him up, put him in a box, and let's leave him be. Like, don't give him the intention. A part of this, and this was one of the things that made me love Natural Born Killers so much as a movie, is the media's glorification of crime and criminals. Like when you put like, obviously Diddy is he's an exception because, or these celebrities are exception, these ones that go on trial because they're already stars, O.J. Simpson, Diddy, so on and so forth. But when you have guys like Kohberger or even Karen Reed for that matter, they become national figures. They become national figures. And this is like fame is, for whatever crazy reason, something people crave. And so if you have a propensity for psychosis, if you have any of the whatever the markers are that make up for somebody who could become a serial killer, and you have a craving for fame, mm-hmm. Man, that is just such a bad combination. And then all of a sudden, like, I mean, a part of what inspired Kohberger, I think, I think that will come out eventually if he's studied, is just his fascination. He grew a fascination through his education. His education only made it bigger, a more profound craving for him or whatever. I don't know how to necessarily phrase it, but whatever it was, I feel confident that this guy pursued this as a passion and not, and as far as the why, I mean, he probably just, he probably picked a building. He probably picked a time and he just said, this is the time and this is the place. Maybe he scoped it out. Who knows?
The victim impact statement by Olivia Gonsalves is worth a watch because she really does, like, she decided to take these people draft their statements. They're either about the victim and who that person was, or they're about the family that was left behind and how much they've hurt. And then sometimes they'll do a victim impact statement where they just try and like completely obliterate the person who did the crime.
Yeah.
And that was Olivia Gonsalves's choice.
Yeah.
So she really tore him down, and it was kind of gratifying to watch. I thought it was really neat. She was, one of the things that she was talking about was how he just had this, that he maybe didn't know how to feel, that he's just like a empty shell, like this like monstrous person who
seems fairly apparent.
Yeah, right. And she was like, so you did all this so that you could feel something.
I love that.
But I also feel like
it's entirely morbid and horrible and romantic in a weird and awful way.
I know. I think that the psychology of people that do these big heinous crimes, really, really risky crimes too, and especially like those fame crimes,
yeah,
like mass unalivings and stuff like that, where they want to have notoriety. There's this very specific type of delusion, like I think about like the archetype of that it gets associated with the planet Neptune. It's like it signifies fame, but also delusion. And if you think about fame in any context, there is a bit of delusion to it.
I think there's a lot of delusion.
There's like a magnetism that people buy into, but isn't real. Like people that are famous have this sort of like glamour magic, and we all get sort of like deluded into following them and like uplifting them, exalting them. But there's no foundation to that. There's no reality to that. There's not like very few of these people are actually earning these accolades because they're not doing anything.
They're not, nor are they necessarily deserving of it for any other reason.
So I think also, yeah, exactly. So I think that the people who seek this sort of thing, especially through like super, like mentally, psychologically distorted thought processes, are just buying into the same thing. It's almost like fame and delusion are two sides of the very same coin, So of course it goes hand in hand. I also feel like if you're a super violent person and you don't feel like it's a really big deal to take somebody's life, it probably also is associated with like extremely low self-esteem. Like I feel like anybody who's like self-confident and feels like they're an important and unique figure in the world and they don't need anybody else to show that to them, they don't think about things like harming other people, Yeah,
I don't know if that's self-esteem though. I mean, I don't think Ted Bundy lacked in self-esteem. I don't know that Jeffrey Dahmer did necessarily. He might have.
Ted Bundy's an interesting case because he had a really strange upbringing in which his mother was raised with him as his sister because she was a really young mother, and the family didn't want to have to, explain it to everybody. So his grandparents raised him as his parents.
Yeah.
But they had a really great relationship, and so when she was older and he was older, they moved away together, and then she assumed his, motherhood of him. And he always kind of saw her as a sister because that's how he was raised, but it wasn't really that much of a conflict, according to that book, at least, that you got me.
Right.
But for him, I think that him not really knowing who his father was, and I feel like he maybe didn't have like a really strong sense of identity because he had these like sort of convoluted, like, and also like everything was built on a lie, even though it was a really innocent lie.
Yeah.
It wasn't very consequential. But like he never knew who his father was, and he had to find out who that was. And then he never knew who his mother was, and then he found out who it was later, and that was his sister. And so I wonder whether he just sort of like his lack of having a very foundational concept of his own identity and where he comes from may have made him want to have notoriety as this person. I don't know. I don't know what explains the violence of Ted Bundy, because he really went over the top. Like, and I don't know, there's nothing about, like, it's not like some of these people are like, they live such hard childhoods that you're like, oh, obviously this person is brain damaged, and they're just, they lack the inhibition and the morals to act right.
Yeah.
But that wasn't Ted Bundy's situation at all. He was like raised well. He didn't have conflicts in his life, and he went to a great school, and he always had support, and he was.
That's why it's like that's why like, a psychosis is the likely culprit here. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Who knows, man?
I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense to me. But I just think about the exploration of Kohberger and wanting to know, and I understand the wanting to know from a victim standpoint. Of course, I understand it. I understand. I mean, to the extent that I can understand why one would, I can't understand what they're going through. But I personally would just immediately think about how it's just completely unreliable. There's just nothing reliable in terms of knowing why. I mean, I suppose if you hear the truth, how you can hear the truth when you could just feel it, like it happened.
Oh yeah, but how awful would it be if they knew he was lying?
Right.
Like if they knew he would come up with some fake story.
That? Well, exactly.
They'd be so
and
angry.
the haunting of that, as opposed to what the judge was talking about today, which is just put this dude in a box and let him go die there.
Oh, I know. Like Kaylee Gonsalves's father saying that he wanted Kohberger to say her name. I was like, okay, I understand that. Like you want her to be recognized by the person who didn't see her as a human being. Like I get that you want that, but what you're not considering is that you're going to hear the sound of this man saying your daughter's name.
Why would you want that?
And that's going to stay with you, and that's going to replay in your head and torment you even more than you're tormented.
I think I would want the exact opposite. Like I think I would want, if I was the victim here and he'd taken from me my child, I think I would want the opposite. I think I would never want to hear my child's name come from his lips.
I would want exactly
he didn't
what's
know
happening.
her name when it happened, is how I would feel about it.
Yeah.
Or he didn't care about it. And so the last thing I'd want to do is hear him speak her name. Her name would be so precious to me. I understand where he's coming from, so it's not a criticism on him. And grief is a very personal fucking thing.
Yeah.
So I would never in any way try to impede on his grief. It's hard not to compare what you might want to do with your own grief in that situation, even if it's unimaginable.
Yeah, I think I would want what happened, which is that Kohberger doesn't say anything, and I would be like, I want you to never speak again.
I can feel that in my bones. That's
like
what
we
I
were
would
saying
want
this
it.
the other day.
I don't want
about,
that fucker to ever speak.
We were saying this the other day about Cosby. Like we can't literally silence you forever. You know what I mean? Wink, wink.
Right.
But I would like you to just like be silent.
Can you shut the fuck up?
Can you be silent forever?
Can you shut the fuck up forever? Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
This was in response, by the way, to Bill Cosby having something to say about Malcolm Jamal Warner's death, which I have an update on, by the way, just to switch topics since that came up. So TMZ reported that the beach that he chose to swim on is like profoundly dangerous. They showed pictures that on the beach they have red flags. They have this board talking about how year-round undercurrent that can fuck you up and kill you, and that only experienced swimmers and experienced surfers should be in the water, beyond the water up to your knees.
What?
So apparently he went into dude, those signs are there because people died. They're not there because people are guessing people are going to die. I wonder whether he didn't see them. Well, it according to the article, it would be hard not to see them.
Yikes.
Like apparently the beach, they're like they showed a picture. There's a red flag like right in the, like right there at the beach, like red flag. Like it's like when you see that, it would definitely, if I was on a beach, if I saw that, I'd be like,
You're like, huh,
something's up.
that's unique.
I'm not going to do anything until I understand the
I know what
purpose
red
for
flag
this.
means in my country.
Right. Apparently in Costa Rica it means the same damn thing. Don't go in this fucking water unless you know exactly what you're doing.
Yikes.
So it's such a sad, and it's like it reminds me of Julian Sands. It's just like these people are, these people, and in this case it's celebrities, but you know the one thing about celebrities making these kinds of mistakes is that we can all learn from them a little bit. So if you're out there,
Oh yeah, you're talking about Julian Sands, who was like an avid hiker, and he
Yeah.
would go and do these really risky hikes, and then he didn't. He went.
but he was an inexperienced
everybody-
hiker in snow.
Yes, everybody knew that this snowstorm was coming in, and he went up after it had started for some reason. He was a photographer. I think he just wanted to be in nature. He was like, "Oh, the snow's pretty. It rarely snows like this in Southern California. Like, I'm definitely gonna."
And hubris
enjoy
because
it.
he felt like his experience, even though it was not cold weather and not snow experience, he had literally none. He had apparently said to members of his family or people with whom he spoke that like he couldn't pass up the opportunity to be out in the winter, like in a snowy, because it's such a rare opportunity for him. So he
It
was
is really pretty.
He was, of course it is, but he was very inexperienced is the point.
Yeah,
And
when
it's that hubris when you get, it's just like, you know, motorcyclists, you know, they become one with the bike so much so that
Yeah.
they're riding with no hands, they're popping wheelies, they're doing all these stupid things
Right.
that even if you're, you know, even if it's an extension of your fucking your actual biological self, a small mistake ends everything. Did you ever see that GIF out there? The girl, they're speeding, she's sitting behind on a bike, and she tickles the driver.
No, you've told me about it though. That's a really dumb thing to do. When they found Julian Sands, they thought that he had maybe fallen.
Oh, but that's another. That goes with the weather, doesn't it? Right, like.
But
you're
they
gonna
weren't sure
risk
whether
that.
he had fallen or he had gotten lost and ended up like trying to get his way back up to some other place. I don't know. But he was off the trail, and he was underdressed.
Wilson just followed us
Sweet.
on TikTok. If somebody wants to follow us on YouTube, so we can get matching follows, because is that the stupidest thing I've ever said?
Matching
follows. It sounds like a fucking, like, you know, I don't want to be that guy. Ladies and gentlemen, but I do
Subscribers.
thank you for the likes. They're coming in generously on both platforms. Thank you so much for liking us and for having fun with us. We appreciate you so much.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you so much. So yes, it turns out Malcolm Jamal Warner might have not heeded the warnings and put himself at grave risk and ended his life as a result. I'm still quite sad about his passing. I feel like he's gonna like get overlooked after Ozzy. Remember when Michael Jackson died?
I do. I was working at an old man's bar in downtown LA at the time when it happened, and we always had two TVs, and I used to put like old Clint Eastwood westerns on one TV and then the news on the other, and everybody just stopped. Like I had a bunch of these
that
regulars.
famous over the like the
Yes,
from the
helicopter
helicopter
footage
shot
of his gurney coming out. That was nuts.
I asked because do you remember where you were when Farrah Fawcett died?
No,
You were in the same spot.
I was.
Yeah.
They didn't cover it at all.
She died that same day. She died that same damn day.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild? Farrah Fawcett, man. I mean, a beloved actor from the 70s. She was on all my friends' walls. She was. I mean, not all of them, but some. Like I had a cousin who had her all over the wall.
Yeah, she's a
and
cutie.
Heather Locklear.
Heather Locklear and Farrah Fawcett. I feel like I confused the two in my head. Like they both look like the same person. Are they similar?
They're similar types, yeah. Well, similar, yeah. I mean,
They have the same
both
like
gorgeous,
blowout hair.
feathered, blowed out blondie. The doctor who supplied Matthew Perry with his fatal doses of ketamine and called him a moron is set to enter a guilty plea.
Oh, that would be easier.
It is, you know, I just can't get over the fact that Michael Jackson has this, like this, and, you know, it was all around, you know, the controversy around it was all about the doctor, was all about the supplier. It blew everything up. It really was like one of those moments, a seminal moment where you felt like, okay, change is going to happen now.
Nope,
will
they're
be change.
still doing it.
and calling him a fucking moron in the like who's the fucking moron? It's just incredible.
Yeah, he was like, let's see how much this moron is going to pay for this. You know, he was overcharging him.
If you don't know who Christopher Guest is, he's one of my favorites.
Wait, before you go.
Yeah.
Cosmic Urgency is asking, do you remember where you were when Anna Nicole Smith passed away?
No. But I have my Anna Nicole Smith fucking story if you want it. Just say yes.
Did you see that that recent video of Anna Nicole Smith's daughter? You remember her? She was like a baby when it happened.
Yeah.
She was wearing her mother's dress on the red carpet.
Wow.
I know. She was really emotional and cute about it.
Holy shit. Well, I just moved to West Hollywood. It was I just moved, and I mean, like, I think it might have been my first month there. June. And in West Hollywood, I lived on Crescent Heights and Santa Monica. You, of course, know where that is.
Yes.
But for those of you who don't, it's in the heart of West Hollywood. And West Hollywood is the gay district of Hollywood, of Los Angeles. And it is extremely colorful. And, you know, Pride and Halloween are legendary events. I think second maybe in America only to San Francisco as far as Pride. And it's a big fucking deal. So I'm sleeping in my brand new apartment on Crescent Heights, and it's a Sunday morning, and I get woken up. I was probably drinking the night before. I get woken up to a blasting Donna Summers. I'm laying in bed, and I can't remember what song it was, but all of a sudden it just starts pumping. I'm like, what the fuck? And Angela's like, what the hell? And we scurry and scramble our way to the window, and we open it up, and right outside our apartment is a float being held up by all these gay dudes and chaps for gay pride. And on that float is fucking this robust, rotund Anna Nicole Smith just laid out on
like a goddess.
And a guy fanning her or something.
It's so great.
Right out my window.
I love that for her.
Blaring fucking.
Okay, but it wasn't like a procession. It was just like the one thing.
They were waiting in line to join in on the parade. So there was their queue. They were queued up on Crescent Heights to join in. There was like a whole row of floats, but it was Anna Nicole Smith's parked right outside my house, right in front of my apartment, and they had these like speakers on her thing, blaring this Donna Summer. Oh my God. It was a truly magnificent moment. So no, I don't remember where I was exactly when Anna Nicole Smith passed away. I remember feeling sad for her. It's a sad moment. Don't you agree?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I think it's sad. I don't think celebrities should die ever.
Except Ozzy, because he drank too much, and you know. David Geffen. If you don't know David Geffen, he was a big music executive, but he was also like a really kind of controversial gay guy. And the reason I say controversial gay guy is because he was always like, there was always rumors about him and like living a very promiscuous and potentially potentially litigious life, we'll call it that. I know nothing of it personally, but it was these rumors swirled around Hollywood often, like eddies. And Geffen is now being sued again by an estranged husband of 32 for allegedly failing to provide lifelong support. He's 82. His 50-year younger husband is suing him because I guess they broke up because I guess the 32-year-old couldn't handle it anymore. David Geffen wanted to move on and find some fresh meat. And,
how weird.
This is a fucking.
There must have been
like such a weird world they live in, dude. To have a 50-year-old, like 50 years your junior. Like, what's that conversation like at dinner? Like, what are you talking about? I'd be like, hey, you want to watch reruns of what's the one with the Andy Griffith Show? Do you want to watch the Andy Griffith Show or the Sullivan Show with me?
I imagine it's probably a lot of like mentor mentee type dynamic, you know?
Like, so a lot of eye rolling.
No. What I mean is like the young person is like, I learned so much from you, and the old person is like, I love to teach you these things.
I love your optimism. I do. I love it. I just fucking eat it for breakfast. It would be so good to live in a society where the elders are have any respect whatsoever. This is not a place where we live typically. It's just anyway a weird dinner table scene. also just a weird scenario. It's just such a fucking weird place. Like, I don't know. Another one I have saved here is that Justin Timberlake is being slammed for just calling in his shows. He's doing the bare minimum.
Oh, well, I think he's got long COVID. I know that he had to cancel a lot of performances. I think he had to cancel twice, different times, where he was struggling. And I think that remember when he was arrested for like a traffic citation, like speeding or something, or DUI?
He got a DUI, yeah.
Yeah, well, if he's using, then that's not going to make him feel super vibrant. Or if he was using and now he had to stop. So now he doesn't have the energy for it anymore.
So you don't think it's just because he's like,
No, I don't think so at all. I think that guy probably really, he probably really respects his craft. I think he might just not be feeling great.
I mean, I get the problem of like living such a repetitive life. Like even if it's a rock star life, you're still playing the same song over and over and over and over again. You got like there are songs I've played where you're just like, I mean, if you didn't.
Oh, because you're a real repetitive listener.
Because I'm always learning and always trying to master or whatever, and also whatever. It doesn't matter. It reminds me of John Mellencamp.
It's hard to cohabitate sometimes.
It can be.
You have somebody else like
stop before you start confessing things that hurt my ego. John Mellencamp reminds me of seeing him. I went and saw him. I don't know when it was, 80 whatever, 90 whatever. I don't even know. And really great concert, by the way. But he opened up with Jack and Diane.
Yeah, he was just like, I just want to get it over with. This is what you guys came to hear. I don't want to have to like prolong my suffering.
Exactly. It was so funny because like everybody that I was with at the concert, they're all like, "Oh my God, he's opening with Jack and Diane." And in my head, I was right away. I was like, "Me too, buddy. I would do the same thing."
Did he change the chili dogs?
Sucking on a chili dog?
Did he change it?
I don't remember.
I wonder how he feels about that. Like
I spent all of
Why did I do that? That was so weird. Why did I say that? I spent
all of my youth, well into my adulthood, denying that those were the words. Sucking on a chili dog. I denied it.
What did you think they were?
I thought they were
whatever you thought it was would be better.
Well, I didn't even have anything because I thought it was like sit up like a douche in the middle of the night, like just like a bunch of words that don't actually fucking make sense.
You thought he was like jazz scatting?
I thought he was just like or just tripping over whatever he could to get there. Just a weak lyrical moment. I had no idea, and it was ultimately
it really was. Yeah.
How do you suck on a chili dog? What do you even do? Is it you?
I think he
is
meant.
the bun involved?
Did he meant like sucking down a chili dog, like you're eating multiple chili dogs?
Well, when you think about sucking on a chili dog, since it's a chili dog, I mean, it really does invoke, phallic type imagery, right? Like sucking on a chili dog.
I think once you incorporate,
it's not like eating a Halls or a Lifesaver.
I think once you incorporate chili in the mix, it no longer becomes like
you can't suck on chili.
A phallic thing.
How do you suck on chili? Well, that's true. The chili like takes the fallacy.
Yeah, it's just not
the fallacy, phallicsy. Oh my God. I was talking about Christopher Guest a moment ago before you rudely interrupted me. Mm-hmm. And I asked about him. Do you know who he is?
Yes.
He is he's the famous writer.
He's a treasure.
He's a treasure. He's a treasure. You're Waiting for Guffman, Best in Show. He wrote and directed those movies. Yep. He's also starring in them. Mm-hmm. He was also Nigel. This is Spinal Tap. He's the guitarist Nigel. There's Nigel on the guitar. Remember? Mm-hmm. He turns his shit up to 11. So anyway, Jamie Lee Curtis. I keep forgetting that she's married to him.
Oh, weird.
Jamie Lee Curtis and have been married a very long time. And by the way, for those of you who read the book, I talk about working with Marissa Ryan. And if you remember in the book, she talks about, being inspired by Christopher Guest. And he truly was the inspiration behind her work. And so it was really cool. And this was, by the way, Waiting for Guffman because Best in Show had not yet come out. But anyway, he's a lovely guy, really, in terms of a talent. As talent goes, he's just the loveliest of the lovely. And Jamie Lee Curtis came out, I guess, in an interview just talking about how lucky she is to have been married to this guy for all this time. That's
very sweet.
Her
Cosmic Urgency.
Her quote is that he's the funniest dude on the planet.
Yeah, that's really sweet.
He's lovely. You see, like the dorks that Michelle Pfeiffer has lived with.
Oh
like she was like the most beautiful woman in the world in their day, and like all of her husbands, like all together combined, are, if you combine them all together, they're still ugly. Like I say that in a very like light way. I mean that very like facetiously, but they are not the best looking guys. They're really weird, very quirky, very dorky, like the exact opposite that you expect somebody who looks like Michelle Pfeiffer to be with. And when she was asked about her showrunner husband, whose name escapes me for some reason, but he was like a huge guy, like did all these cop shows and shit, whatever. And she asked me, you know, like, what do you see in him or whatever? Because I think there was just a national curiosity. And you know, she was like, he makes me laugh. He's the funniest guy I ever met. And it's just so funny because it's like, there is the whole fucking recipe to every fucking, you know, toxic masculine mind out there who's like dealing with this feeling of insecurity and inadequacy. All it takes is becoming real and having fun and making that person laugh. I spend most of my time making you laugh on a daily basis. You know, I think. I mean, I try to make, maybe you don't agree.
No, it's literally why I'm here. Like, I don't think that I would have partnered with you if you weren't funny. It's just a requisite for, if I'm going to spend my life with you. Yeah, we're going to have a good time.
I'm going to have to laugh.
You're going to have to be entertaining to
and
me.
You're going to have to be the guy who does it. That's not true. You're extremely funny. You're like, you would be the most underrated funny person in the room if there's an expectation for anyone here to be funny.
But I just can't imagine partnering with somebody who isn't funny, who doesn't make you laugh. Like, can you imagine being like, oh yeah, he doesn't really have much of a sense of humor? Like, can you imagine?
Right.
I think I don't know anybody that has I can't imagine being in a relationship with somebody who you don't want to hang out with and talk with.
It's very true because like Christopher Guest is like, you know, for lack of a better term, and I'm, you know, this sucks in terms of like categorizing people this way, you know, but he's like you know, he's an average looking guy. Like he's you know, he's definitely never been a consideration for Sexiest Man Alive. Sexiest Man Alive. You know what I mean? That's never happened. They were never sitting around at People Magazine or wherever they give that stupid award to, and they're like, well, is it between, you know, fucking Johnny Depp or Christopher Guest? Like that never happened. But Jamie Lee Curtis is a straight bombshell. Like,
yeah, this is a Cosmic Urgency said that he is Scream Queen Jamie Lee Curtis's husband.
Exactly. I love that. That's perfect. Anyway, so it's just really, it's like, I loved hearing the sentiment about it. And also, you know, here she is, Jamie Lee Curtis, in a world where she could be scooping up pretty boys and, you know, doing all this like sort of, I think, stereotypical sort of idea behind being this, you know, rich, famous, beautiful woman, right? I mean, you would agree Jamie Lee Curtis is beautiful, wouldn't you? Smoking hot, pretty much, kind of.
Yeah, I think she always had like the hot body. I don't know.
Smoking hot body. I mean, she's.
You're putting me in a tough spot because I don't usually remark on people's appearances. I don't usually. It's like not something that I judge. So I don't really have an opinion.
Well.
But I know that there's that that clip that always goes around that people are always sharing whenever Jamie Lee Curtis comes up in the conversation, and it's that scene where she's the dance instructor. She's like the aerobics instructor in a scene with John Travolta, and they're basically doing like hip thrusting, and she's in like a teeny tiny little leotard. Yeah, her body's banging.
Beyond ridiculously hot. Yeah. Well, she's just a smoking hot babe. Christopher Guest is kind of an average dude, and yet he lands this thing because this relationship because he's a funny fuck.
Cosmic Urgency is naming. You couldn't remember his name. It's OMG David E. Kelly, creator of Ally McBeal.
That's right, David E. Kelly. I can't. For some reason, his name's left me because I haven't said it in fucking 15 years or whatever. Ally McBeal. That's right. He created Ally McBeal, among other shows. Like he was like in his heyday. David E. Kelly was probably the biggest showrunner in Hollywood, in television. Which is pretty cool because she also landed like the best of the best in his field as well. Ally McBeal was a great show.
Vicious Vixen said, "Funny is important. It is super important."
Yeah.
I keep saying this to people, and you know, there's like I feel like constantly these surveys are going around where they're like, you know, what do women want? Like men are focused on the wrong things. So what are the right things? It's like
it's why
but they don't want to listen to the answer. They never want to listen to the answer, which is like, make yourself an interesting person, like develop a personality, make yourself, you know, funny, like have a hobby that's also interesting to somebody else that you might want to partner with. Like, I don't know, like.
Yeah, it's funny because we talk about protecting the Little Richards on our live.
Yes.
For any of you who are new, Little Richards, by Little Richards we mean like, you know, endowment. you know, how well endowed men are. We think it's a form of body shaming that gets overlooked.
The last
Egregiously
acceptable
overlooked.
body shaming that everybody for some reason is on board with is this body shaming of men who are not well endowed. And I just feel like it's just astonishing every time I hear it. The whole room laughs every time you hear one of these jokes, and I just cannot believe that we haven't progressed past this judgment.
It's very
like
upsetting.
it's not, they can't control it. What are we doing?
But I'm not bringing it up
Tormenting these
because
dudes.
of the topic, although I think it's always a good topic to remind people that, you know, when you make your little Richard jokes, you're body shaming people. Because I forget, I showed you a graph a long while ago in one of these lives that showed that the majority of men are little Richards, are average or below average in terms of their size. So every time you drop one of them jokes,
That's a majority of the people in the room
Yeah,
who are laughing uncomfortably.
you're body shaming half the room men
Yeah.
in that moment.
And they have to laugh because they don't want to out themselves.
They probably have a
can't
follow-up
ever-
joke that they've been using for fucking, you know, since they
know.
realized that they don't compare.
They can't ever out themselves because everybody unanimously is ridiculing them, you know? So, like, God, horrible.
But I bring them up because you were talking about how, like, what women want and what men think women want versus what women actually want. And you know, and every man is or was obsessed with their Richard. Do you know what I mean? They were like, hey, you know, I mean, is it too big? Is it too small? Is it too wide? Is it not wide enough? Do you know? Dudes are worried about it. They're worried about it, you know? I would imagine that if a man suffers from some severe issues there in terms of body, you know, shame, that it would be one of the most mortifying and difficult experiences to try to become intimate with a woman. It must be just the most frightening thing. And what's interesting about that is that half of that shame is coming from their own issues and misunderstandings of what women actually want.
Yes. We want somebody who's kind. Like, learn to be kind to people. Learn to be caring of others. Learn to be a supportive
And we'll
friend.
work around the issues.
Like, learn to be a supportive friend and find what masculinity means in the context of that, right?
Yeah.
But, like, these dudes will, like, they'll change their entire life around to become these, like, gym rats, right? Because they're trying to get these abs because they think that
Compensation.
that's what somebody... No, I'm not talking about the Little Richard thing. I'm just talking about how...
Okay.
Somebody's like, I'm lonely. I want a girlfriend. What do I do? Oh, some idiot on the internet is telling them, like, you just need to hit the gym harder, bro. So they'll just, like,
I
spend
was
their
one of those
entire
guys.
lives.
I went and got CrossFit and shit. It landed me you, actually. That's how I felt about it.
But that's not what did.
I know, but I'm saying, like, I went and got myself all, like, in a, you know, half the going to the gym thing is just getting yourself psychologically capable.
Yes.
When I showed up at Hollywood,
But that's the value of it. Is like, if it makes you feel more confident, great. But what women are interested in is whether you're a kind person who knows how to care for people, right?
Yeah.
Like the whole part about, like, the provider, right? Nobody denies that, like, women want a provider, okay? But they're not just talking about money. They're
Right.
not talking about, like, whether you can afford to buy shit, right?
No, I know.
They're talking about, like, are you caring?
I
Can
am
you
not a
care for
provider.
people?
I am not a provider.
But you're very caring. Like, you'll definitely, like, you'll drop everything to help somebody in need. I think
I
that's a virtue, and I think that that's something that definitely triggers, like, affection from women. You know, it's like it's easy.
I think helping people is an important part of being a good dude.
But I don't speak for everybody. There's probably some people who are more materialistic and they prioritize different things.
Oh, I know people who got married specifically for convenience.
I personally like good company, so that was my priority.
I know a guy who got married to a woman who he did not love. He confessed this to me. Did not love her, but she was money and opportunity, and he married her. And I told him it was a terrible idea. I was like, you don't want to do this, bro. He did. It was a terrible idea. He has been so fucking miserable most of his life.
Well, he gets what he fucking
But
asks
he
for.
goes on vacations all the time. He doesn't
Mm-hmm.
have to have a day job because she brought these giant bags of money into the
so
room.
miserable.
So and it's what's weird is, like, whenever I've hung out with him, he just buys things. That's his life. He just buys things.
You know what's so weird about
He was
that?
like he like as soon as he gets 2-year leases, he's just always in a new car. And I'm like, bro, how many cars do you go through? Like, it's kind of bad for the environment, bro. You're going through cars.
Yeah.
Like, the guys in 10 years, he goes through 5 cars.
You know what's so weird about that is he could have found some, like, poor woman who, couldn't provide for him, but got along with wonderfully, right?
Yeah.
Somebody he could fall in love with and supported her dreams so that she could become the big earner that he wants,
That's a great point.
It's like, I don't
It
understand.
was weird because
People
it was just like he
compromise the
was
weirdest
sure
shit.
that he was making the right decision, that he was getting into a situation that was going to make his life more comfortable and more easy. And instead it was like this, he ended up like coming really head to head with like a terrible choice,
Yeah.
And she ended up kind of picking up on it, and the relationship got weird, and fuck, it was a mess. But yeah, people do it all the time, I suppose.
I want to talk about this. So you have Blake Lively. Are there any other things on your...
Yeah, one more thing is
Okay.
that Sacha Baron Cohen has been trying to, get out of being Borat, one of the funniest characters ever created.
No.
Yeah, he is one of the funniest characters ever created.
Borat?
Yeah, Borat's really funny.
He's racist.
Oh, and so many other things.
Yeah.
So funny. But Sacha Baron Cohen, he's pumped because he's playing Mephisto. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah. And he's going to be playing...
What is his character?
Mephisto. It's a Marvel character.
Oh, that's
so
why
he
I
went
don't know.
from like, this comedic genius, whether you like him or not, I don't care. Because I do. I think he's really funny. He's like Danny McBride too. He's not doing it because he's a racist. You got to look deeper. But I love that look he just gave me. It's like, I love how fucking beautiful and incredibly powerful you are. Because absolutely, there's like, you have 200 muscles in your face. You only changed like 2, and I knew I was like in trouble. There's like 2 little muscles on our face, and I was like, oh fuck, I should take that back. Absolutely nobody else saw
I'll
that.
change some muscles in your face, buddy.
Motherfucker, I'm going to rearrange your muscles in your face. Shoo. Jenna said Borat is so cute to her. Exactly. He's cute. It's very funny.
It's kind of sinister.
Dude, he exposed Giuliani. I mean, can you ask for anything more than...
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know. I mean, he does like fun antics, but the development of that character is like super sinister.
Dude, he exposes people. It's the most hilarious. Like, that movie was incredible. There was, I mean, he's sitting there in that room full of aristocrats, and he asks to use their bathroom, and he comes back with a bag of poop.
No, I understand.
I mean, you couldn't ask for a more...
I just don't... I'm not really a big fan of the, like, our culture, like, constantly consuming media that, like, demeans Arab cultures. Like, I just feel like that's...
Yeah.
It's all just, like, a psychological operation to continue to justify, like, horrific things done overseas, I don't like to consume it. I will consume media by Arab cultures, like from those cultures,
Sure.
to learn about them.
Yeah.
But I don't want it
Is
to
Kazakhstan
be like
Arab?
parodied. I don't know.
I don't think it's Arab. I think
don't-
that's
is it?
like Eastern Europe.
I'm not sure about the geography, but
I think that's like, yeah, like Eastern
I think he
Europe-y.
deliberately decided who he was going to pick on and who he was going to, like, it's really demeaning.
I don't disagree that
You know what I
he
mean?
went overboard with the Kazakhstanis.
Yeah.
I actually thought that Kazakhstan, this is embarrassing. I didn't know Kazakhstan was even a country.
Right.
I don't know all the
We're
countries.
so sheltered over here.
I just don't know all the countries. It's not true. It's not about being sheltered. I know a lot of other things. I just don't, I'm not interested in the geography of the world is why I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So I thought
There's
Kazakhstan,
too many countries.
when I found out
Hard
Kazakhstan
to
was a
keep
real
track.
country, it did change the perspective of how I felt about the jokes.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was all made up. Because I knew that he was making up the language. I knew he was making up everything else. So I just assumed Kazakhstan was like a genius name that he came up with. Turns out it's a real country. And so, yeah, I feel bad for Kazakhstanis because of that. For sure. I do.
Mm-hmm.
But that didn't change the fact that Borat is the funniest fucking character ever created. Or one of them at least.
Well, hopefully he can hang it up because he's going to do better things.
All right, we're going to be watching, not tonight, but this week or before
Are you
the end
signing
of the
off?
week.
What's happening?
I'm not signing off. You got more things to talk about?
Well,
What's that?
yeah, your thumbnail had
I'm
more
done.
things. I think it's very interesting that so Justin Baldoni and Wayfarer were, well, Wayfarer, not Justin Baldoni himself, but Wayfarer was sued by the insurance company, right?
Yes.
We already talked about that?
Yes.
So that lawsuit got successfully moved to Judge Lyman's docket.
It did?
Yes.
He's so fucked. The amount of fucked that Justin Baldoni is
That's right.
almost beyond measure. These fools, man, all these people who back this dude and who wanted to like man, you guys just, I'll get you like the most egg. The
Dale,
most
I
egg.
don't know what's going to happen to him.
Justin Baldoni?
Yes.
He's finished. Bro.
Like,
He's rich. He's rich. He's going to get, look.
Here's the thing. He has a lot of like really sycophantic fans, right? Like really, really, really devoted.
Yes.
Like won't hear anything critical about him type fans.
Right.
So he can exploit that, but his fall from grace is going to be so drastic.
It is drastic.
He's not going to have, I don't know who's going to hire him to do anything. He's going to have
absolutely
to like,
nobody.
Is he going to start another podcast that's like specifically about like, I don't know. Like, what's he going to do? What's going to happen to him?
Yeah. I mean, the biggest problem that he created for himself was that even if he had lost control of this, like you see, at some point you have to grab the reins. At some point you have to grab the reins of your problem.
Well, yeah,
and
I know.
He never did.
I'm not talking about what happened.
No, I know, I understand. But the problem that he created for himself was that at no point in time did he stand up for the persona he created for himself.
Yeah, so
at no point did he
trashed.
protect his own self.
Yeah, that whole thing is trashed.
He let that go to trash. All he had to do was stand up and say, "Guys, we're gonna work our dispute out.
Yeah. No,
I'm
I get
sad
it.
it went this way."
What I'm saying, I'm not talking about what he should have done or what he could have done. What I'm talking about, I'm trying to figure out what's going to happen to him in the future. Because here's the thing: he is a director.
I get that. I'm because his future is so fucked. I'm just going into, how he could have prevented it because
yes, I know,
it's
but
all gone.
Listen, he's still a director. Like he's still a capable director.
So?
He can direct.
So what?
So is he going to direct in some other capacity where he doesn't work with Hollywood
First of all,
anymore?
I don't
Because they're
agree
never
with
going to
you.
fucking work with him
First
again.
of all, I don't agree with you.
He's never going to get insurance again after he pulled this shit with his insurance company.
I don't necessarily agree with you. You say he's a competent director. I don't fucking know that he's a competent director.
Well,
I think
he
might
has
be...
directed feature films that made a lot of money. So
Yeah, I know.
somebody's going to hope that he does that for them. And I'm thinking that Steve Sarowitz is going to have this faith-based company. Maybe they'll make faith-based films, which are still bankable. But like, how is he going to get insured again? How anything like this going to happen?
Yeah, well, his problem is definitely insurance. But I honestly don't give a shit what happens to Justin Baldoni. Like, I think that he ruined his career, and I think it's beyond repair. And I think what he's done is beyond reproach. You don't attack the movie star of your fucking film the way he has, and then expected the doors to be held open for you. It's over, dude.
I just don't know what he's going to do because he can exploit all the fans that he's made. These people are really devoted. They're going to spend money on him. They're going to continue to be fans regardless of what happens.
He'll exploit. I think your idea of him starting another podcast, he's figuring all that out. He's going to pander in the same way that Signor panders to his alt-right guys now. He's in there now. He's in the Candace Owens. Oh, there's some news that we didn't cover yet. Candace Owens got sued.
Candace Owens is being sued by
Macron.
Yeah, but what's his title?
He's the president.
Oh, they have presidents.
Well, because they have prime ministers and presidents.
Such an idiot about the world.
They have them both, actually. They're one of those. I think
they're one of
both.
those?
Yeah, because he had to move from, I don't know how they're fucking thing. He's one of the heads of government now. He had to avoid fascism, so he made a move politically where he changed his position in order for his party not to get taken over by what was this like severe right that was coming in for it or whatever.
Right.
I don't really know how it works because I don't study politics and
okay, but
any country.
Candace Owens is being sued by the president and the president's wife.
And the president's wife of France. They're suing for defamation.
Yeah, because she's doing this fucking weird like transvestigating. Have you heard of what this concept is?
No.
This super weird arm of like the bonkers right wing. They will take a picture of somebody who is walking around as identifying and possibly being from birth a woman. And they'll just decide. Like me, for instance. I have really broad shoulders.
You do.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm tall.
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody could transvestigate me and
I
decide
suppose.
that I'm trans, which somehow would matter to them and make me a bad person in ways that I can't really figure out, and they
of course you
can't really articulate without like giving the whole game away,
Yeah.
But anyway, so Macron's wife, the First Lady of France,
yes,
has been transvestigated by Candace
Candace
Owens.
Owens, yeah.
And of course it's been distressing for them, but I'm just really amazed that they went from they filed.
I love it.
I can't believe that this is happening.
Well,
has this ever happened before? That
why
somebody...
I think it's so important is because if you think about the problem that America has, which is, you could call it the Candace Owens problem, because it's not just her, of course, it's Tucker Carlson, it's all these others, it's MSNBC, it's all these fucking absolute fucking lunatics who are going out and just reporting egregiously and creating more problems for this country and for us in it than they are anything else, and obviously lining their pockets with a bunch of money in the process. What's the way you get after it? You have to go after it, financially like this. So I love this now because Candace Owens is also, as we know, been subpoenaed by Blake Lively, and she's being sued by Macron. So it's just, I just love what's happening here, and I think that what Macron might be able to do if he's successful, and so I am rooting for
Here's
him.
the thing that's
It's
so,
set a precedent.
What's so interesting
that
about
will
this?
give people an avenue to getting this solved.
Yeah, what I love about this is that, a lot of people think that these like super famous people, like a president of another country, is like untouchable.
Yeah.
And so that they're such a public figure that you can make fun of them or you can say anything you want about them and you won't suffer any consequences, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it very difficult to prove defamation with a public figure? Because they have to prove some sort of harm was done.
It can be if
very
you're
difficult.
Well, the you mean like financial loss, but there are a couple kinds of defamation. So if you're trying to go after somebody for punitives, in other words, like you're saying, oh, this person said something that isn't true about me, and as a result of that, I wasn't able to get this job. This job said, hey, I'm sorry, but these things that are being said about you are just not the image this company can have. So I'm afraid I can't give you that job I was originally going to offer you. And now there are losses, there are damages, measurable damages. And so there's a defamation claim there. There's another form of defamation that is specific to the egregious nature of the defamation. So there's a certain amount of public, like I can say a certain amount of things about famous people, and I'm covered because they're famous and they're subject to satire. They're subject to all these different forms
so I think
of
that
public ridicule.
She felt like she was shielded by this, and she was just like continuing to make all of this content, like against Meghan Markle and against these French politicians, and then obviously Blake Lively. It's just
and it's really hard to litigate.
Okay, but another thing that's so cool is that who is going to have the ability to take down somebody like Candace Owens?
Only these people.
Only the big people.
It's the same scenario as Blake Lively taking on Justin Baldoni because he was able to meet his match in terms of
love it.
Your billionaire don't matter because my billionaire beats your billionaire.
Yep.
So like I was trampled on by Leonardo DiCaprio. I had no chance whatsoever. I was absolutely completely. I was a speck, this is why I'm excited about it. This is the only way this can happen is if these big shots have had enough, all of them. And the problem is that and this is why this is like, there's a certain amount of heroism here, is that they are opening up their lives to us as a result. If this moves forward, Candace Owens is going to have discovery.
It's going to be very easy for her because what's her name? Brigitte?
I don't know. Macron is her name.
Okay.
That's all I know.
First Lady of France.
First Lady of France. Yeah.
All she has to do is just.
I like Brigitte. All
she has to do is like just show her birth certificate or whatever the French equivalent is of it, and have it be like, yeah, that says F, instead of M or whatever, whatever it is in France.
Well, then the difficulty there lies in that they have to then prove that there was an intent to disparage her. This is the second part that I was trying to get to.
Yes, but Candace Owens went like over the deep end. She went and she found a photo of a little boy that was the same age. And she was like, this is the person. This little boy went missing. She grew up to be this first lady. Like, it's just so insane. And it's got to stop.
She's banned in Australia.
Is she really?
Yes. Candace Owens cannot get off a plane in Australia because of her anti-Semitic remarks. Yeah, she's not allowed.
She doesn't believe in dinosaurs.
Dude, this is in her wiki. In her Wikipedia, and she doesn't believe in dinosaurs.
I just feel like that's such a joyless existence. Can you imagine trying to convince yourself that like dinosaurs, which is like the most dazzling, exciting thing you ever learned about in your whole life? Were you also obsessed with dinosaurs?
Of course.
Everybody was obsessed with dinosaurs.
We have them now. To not believe in them is so ridiculous since we have them. They're actually like, we see giant crocodiles. We see giant squid. We see whales.
Yeah, what the hell is an emu?
What is a fucking emu?
You think an ostrich just showed up like that?
Giraffes? We have dinosaurs.
That's really funny.
Crocodiles are fucking dinosaurs. Well, sharks are dinosaurs.
She is such an idiot, and she's going to get sued now for being too much of an idiot. She flew too close to the idiot sun. And I love that for her. I'm here for it.
Well, I'm excited for it too. I'm glad we snuck that into this live because I'm super excited about it. I also am, I'm so supportive of it because I really truly believe that the only people who can make an impact on these fucking liars like Candace Owens and what I hate about Candace Owens, aside from her existence as a so-called journalist or personality at all, is that they're being used. They're a facility for a propaganda that is meant to harm. And that's what bothers me about them. It's like, it's one thing to try and turn stories and twist them into like create angles for people to like explore or whatever. And
No, it's true. It's the difference between clickbaiting and rage baiting.
Right.
Like, you're really manipulating people's emotions, and it's not good for those people, and it's not good for the people that you're targeting too. Like, the result of like transvestigating and that kind of shit is that people, like somebody like me, like a woman with broad shoulders, like I have a shaved head, so like
Yeah.
it's happened to me a few times where somebody will like need my attention while I'm walking away, and they'll call sir.
I've been
and it
there.
doesn't bother me because I don't care, right?
You turn and you go, what the fuck you want?
But what happens is that women who are muscular, or women who don't like fit this like whatever strange assumption that women should fit, right? They'll go into a public restroom and then get bullied by somebody in there
Yes.
because they believe that they don't belong there because they somehow invented in their mind that the person's trans. So they'll get like literally bullied in public just for
Guy,
trying to
I
use
just-
a public
I just-
restroom.
I just
It's like
wish
it
that-
has
why-
real
why-
life consequences.
I
You can't just
know.
do this to people.
Why are people so fucking mean, bro? Just let people be people. Fuck off.
know, it's so stupid.
Nobody's asking you, dude.
Nobody's asking.
Literally nobody's
The
asking you.
existence of that person does not affect you whatsoever. You can just be cool.
Ridiculous. My dad,
Yeah.
this is a little harsh, but I'm gonna drop it anyway. My dad.
You already told us the parrot story. I don't think I want to hear another one that's
I'm not telling the parents.
okay.
My dad, I've had several conversations about gay rights, and with both my parents, and my dad said, he's like, I got no problem with the gays. I got no problem with the gays. He's like, I just don't think they should have children. That's what he said. And
Your dad, an orphan.
I smacked,
Your dad, the orphan.
I smacked my
doesn't
dad
think-
with I smacked my dad with the reality. And I said, Dad, I was molested by 3 dudes. Not only one out of the 3, one of them was gay. One of them was an openly gay man.
You told him that?
Yeah. I said the other 2 men were heterosexual. One was married. He messed me up right next to his sleeping son.
Damn, Dale.
Yeah, I know I'm dropping bombs, but the point I'm trying to make to my father, which is true in my view, is that it's not people of the gay community. I mean, there are some
So what did he
gay
say?
people. He looked down ashamed by it all, and just said none of that is right. It's not right. Just repeated it a couple times. That wasn't right. It's not right. I was like, no shit.
I don't know that it's the best strategy to sort of
Or
like
and
imprint in somebody's mind in a conversation about their misinterpretation of assigning like PDF behavior to gay people, and then like immediately imprint in their mind a story about PDF behavior not involving gay people. I feel like that probably doesn't make the point very well. I don't know how you change any of these people's minds. They're like completely just like wastoid, like completely just.
My point to my father
like
was pretty
battery
obvious.
acid for
I
brains.
thought my point to my father was well made. This dude wants to sit around and try to create these stereotypes and try to attach them to the gay community.
Yeah, and you're like, well, my real world experience is very different than what you're saying.
Yeah, and I know that the men who got me weren't men that just got me and only me. I know that. So, the predators is your neighbor who you're going to go golfing with, bro.
Yeah, that's
it's not
fucked
the
up.
fucking guy that you're trying to keep out of your store because he doesn't conform to your ideals. Fucking losers.
You're gonna have an easy time closing up, and after that, after that story, not ending on a light note tonight.
Let's see if I can find something really quick. There must be something here. It's light and delicious.
How about that Ozzy Osbourne?
Bill Cosby, no.
No.
Shannon Sharp, no. Donald Trump, no. In Japan, farmers turn rice fields into giant artworks. Have you seen this?
That is an interesting segue to this, though.
What?
Apparently, Pam Bondi.
Oh yeah.
What is her job title in the U.S. government?
Isn't she in finance?
Is she AG?
Oh, she's the AG. Is that right?
I don't know. She's some.
I don't follow this government. Pam Bondi?
Yes.
I thought she was. Yeah, she
I
might be-
know what her role was in Florida, and she saved Epstein.
Oh no, she's the fucking press secretary, right?
No.
Oh, she's the.
They're all blonde, bro. They all look the
They
same.
all are.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but this one bothers me. Just the look.
So she was a really prominent figure in the Epstein scandal when it first broke in Florida.
Yeah.
That was really, really crazy what happened with that.
She's the attorney general.
Yeah, okay. Anywho, she has alerted Trump that he was named in the Epstein files, but it's not clear in what context his name was raised in the files. This is just not going away.
And guess what?
And it's coming from the calls
Well,
coming
we
from
already know
inside
the
the house.
context is obviously unfavorable because he's objecting to them being released. He's been preventing them from being released. He's so fucked. I love it. I'm so excited. This is like the best fall of a politician I've ever seen. Like, I really did enjoy Howard Dean. Like, Howard Dean was a lot of fun. Like, when, hey, and I was like, holy shit, you really did come undone there. And of course, Dan Quayle was legendary. I couldn't believe he couldn't spell potato.
But this is no comparison, obviously.
But this is just, I mean, this is like the O.J. Simpson trial all over again. It's just so big. It's
what I
so
think is
huge.
just really incredible is that all of this is happening and he doesn't have anyone to blame and like dismiss and scapegoat. Like if this was happening if the opposing party had any control over anything, then he'd be able to just point fingers and be like, oh, obviously they were trying to take me down.
Did I even cover that Ghislaine Maxwell
No.
has been subpoenaed by Congress? Because that's on my thumbnail.
You want to say it? You just
Ghislaine Maxwell, if that's how you say her name, has been subpoenaed by Congress. And so it's not only is it not going away, but it's getting congressional again. There was a rumor that they tried to bring it back to the floor to get the Epstein files released again, and a bunch of congressmen or Congress people, I don't know if it was just men, but they ditched on it. They just ditched out and they couldn't get the vote to the floor.
What the fuck is happening?
Well, dude, because they're all involved. Nancy fuck Pelosi said,
she was like, we should just
it's all just a distraction. And you know why Nancy Pelosi said that? Because her best friend in life,
I know.
the Clintons, Bill Clinton, was probably on that plane more than Trump.
Yeah, I know.
Because Bill Clinton is as guilty a perp as Donald Trump or anybody else
Allegedly.
in this whole... Well,
Allegedly.
I
This is
don't-
for entertainment
I don't think it's
purposes
alleged
only.
at all. I don't think
Dale,
it's...
this is for entertainment purposes only.
It is alleged. That's true. All right, let me just get my legalese out of the way here. This is all my opinion. I have no actual facts on which I'm basing any of this.
Dale's got
and
loose
I
lips
do
tonight.
it for entertainment basis. But here's what I do know. I do know that President Clinton was a deviant. I think that's fair to say. I think it's like become fairly evident that the man
Allegedly.
well, I don't know if it's alleged because I think
Dale, come
it
on,
was
just-
proven. No, it was proven that he got impeached for it.
All right.
So he's been impeached. That's a legal proceeding. We can say he's guilty of that. Don't be. Bill Clinton's not coming for me, dude. Besides, I can take a Clinton. They ain't shit anymore, bro. But I'm serious. The reason why Nancy Pelosi is saying that there's nothing to see here is because she doesn't want what she's going to see, because she knows what's in there, and she knows that she's got friends there, and that's the only reason why she would believe me. And we're talking about Nancy fucking Pelosi here. If that document didn't essentially indict her own friends or people she knew, she would be all over it. If all it did was squash Donald Trump, she'd be all over the damn thing.
Listen, there's no shortage of reasons why Nancy Pelosi is very problematic and has been for several decades, but I'm not sure why we're suddenly focusing on her in a story that involves so many other people.
Because
she's like the minimum.
She's not. That's ridiculous. She's still very, very prominent in the party, and she is a part of the reason why this story itself has been held back. When you have both sides trying to hide the secret, and the only reason, if Bill Clinton or even if Hillary Clinton were in office right now, I mean, she couldn't be, but if
I
she
think
were,
her speaking on it is very much a deflection tactic. I think she was like, listen, I will take the arrows that they want to shoot, right? So that maybe people aren't talking about this more. Here's the thing is like there's one side has the minority, one side has the majority in Congress. And so the people who are deciding are the ones who are not talking. They're not even showing up for votes. So I feel like it's not really wise to let them off the hook and instead talk about the people who are talking, who have no choice in deciding any of this stuff anyway, because they're in the minority. What I was saying initially was that it's just really amazing that all of this is happening to Trump. at a time where he can't easily scapegoat the other side, because his side is the one who's in power and making, all of this is, the call is coming from inside the house.
Correct.
For him.
Yes.
It's a huge problem.
It's a remarkable situation. It's not going to go away. It doesn't matter how many Nancy Pelosi's or how many Donald Trumps or how many, whatever senators or whatever who are trying to stop this thing. It's not going to go away, because the one thing I love about these obsessed fucking people is that they're when they're obsessed, they're obsessed. They don't care who it is. They really don't. They'll turn on their own if their own is in their sights of the things that matter most to them, and they don't like PDF files more than anything else. And he is one, in my opinion, and for entertainment purposes only, he is one, if you believe at least some of the accusations levied against him. And so it's going to be fun to see what happens. But what I love is that it's not, he can't get out from under this thing. And there's an astrologer out there who has predicted for a long time now that he isn't going to finish this term. So it's so interesting because, like, as soon as this astrologer said that, there was a lot of like, oh, what does it mean? And there's all this like, Civil War kind of configurations, astrologically speaking. We're all the way back into the different war times, including World War II. And
so when a bunch of astrologers were trying to predict the election, okay?
Yeah.
And they predicted that we wouldn't know the results very, very quickly, that there would be some shenanigans, that there would be some sort of like vote manipulation. And I think that that's what happened. And then here we are in this term. The reason why I looked at all the charts too, and the reason why I thought that Trump was going to lose was because the entirety of his term, his astrology is harrowing.
It really is.
So I just assumed that he was going to get prosecuted. I thought that he wasn't going to win, and he was going to end up suffering all of the consequences he was trying to evade by trying to win, But here we are. He's in office, and he's still being persecuted,
Cosmic Emergency says that I'm celebrating too much, that there's no taking Trump down, that the cult will figure out some way to not turn on him. Yeah. I think that's only true if...
That's reasonable.
That's only true if they can keep those files closed. And the problem that they're faced with in trying to keep these files closed is that people need him to be. Here's the problem. He's in a catch-22, dude.
Here's the problem:
I don't think you're right about this.
They created a monster and they let it out of its cage, and they don't know how to put it back. So the QAnon faction of the Republican Party, this is like their one central, like, unifying cause.
It's the biggest thing. I mean, they accused Tom Hanks of this shit.
Yeah, this is their hugest cause, and they are obsessed, and they never let it go.
It's their whole thing.
So I feel like I don't know that you can put the cat back in the bag with this one.
The problem is he has to let go. The only way to truly get this thing to go away is by getting the files out. That's the only way.
I know he's going to have to, we're in this like new age of distortion where we can't really discern fact from fiction very easily. So I think he'll probably just use some AI or whatever, just fucking generate some bullshit, and like everybody will be placated because they'll believe what he puts out. Because that's the thing, is they'll still believe him. If he can credibly exonerate himself, I think they'll believe it. But that's the thing, is some people who have gone onto the side of like, oh, now I suspect him, aren't ever going to let that go. Because I think that's part of these people's problems, is they're really obsessive. Like, it might even be like an OCD sort of situation, but they do not let stuff go. He's got a problem with it.
I had like a weird AI fantasy once. I found out that Malcolm Jamal Warner had gone into these dangerous waters, and I was like, wow, if you used AI to bring him back from, bring him back and explain why what he did was make a mistake, like as a PSA. I know it's strange, but I had this fantasy today while I was cooking, and I was like, what if he came back as a...
That's super gruesome, bro. Did you hear
about
like, that?
Guys, you know what? I'm no longer on this planet,
Oh,
and
God.
my wife...
Don't even talk about this anymore. That's so creepy. There was a case where a person did a victim impact statement, and they AI generated, like they had like a...
The victim did?
The victim's family AI generated the decedent, the deceased person, to give an victim impact statement.
Holy shit.
And it really freaked everybody out that saw it. I saw it, just a little clip of it. But it's really one of the worst things that's come out of this whole, like, they like animate people's faces. I was thinking
PSA,
I know, but still, it's like you're not, it's really going to do, like, a real number on people's psychological
It
well-being.
really
Can you imagine?
It's all bad.
Can you imagine being in really, really complicated grief and then some fucking AI company starts selling people? It's like we've seen this in all of these dystopian movies where the person, the widower is like tormented by the old videos of his wife that passed away many years ago, you know?
Yeah, there's that awesome movie where he like sent her letters for like.
Yeah, it's such a common thing. But imagine if like an AI company is like selling that to people now. Well, so the judge, I don't know why the judge allowed it. That they allowed an AI generated victim to make a victim impact statement. It was just the weirdest, most bizarre thing. But I just feel like we just have to protest that every time we see it because it's going to really harm people. Imagine not being able to grieve properly because you've accepted this sort of like AI assisted, like you can talk to your loved one again. Like how much are people going to be like completely psychically hijacked? I don't know. We should talk about these things again when I'm feeling a little more fresh. I feel like I'm
Cosmic
stumbling
Urgency
over
is
my
saying
words.
that Scream 7 is going to be about AI.
Oh, awesome. That's perfect.
I wonder how.
I think that's the way forward is that people need to get scared of this shit. People need to get scared. There's a lot of really, really scary reporting coming out where people are being interviewed about their loved ones who went into AI and like ChatGPT psychosis.
God, I can't get past it. When the one told the kid to get off his medication.
Yes.
And like his psycho.
There was a woman who started attacking her family members because they tried to get her to stop. It's really bad, bro.
Yeah, no, I watched when I was setting up, like, and I was learning all this gear, and I'm trying to figure out how to get my sound right. I've never done this before. You know how I've been struggling. So I've been watching YouTube videos like everybody else, and I came across a live stream on Twitch, and it was just this dude who's rather popular, and he was talking to an AI. The whole thing was it's like you and I, except you're AI.
What?
Oh, it was so great, and the AI was like laughing
and
God. Making like innuendos.
Guys,
and
we're
jokes.
So done,
and
bro.
I was like, what the fuck? Well, first of all, I thought it was a caller.
Oh my God.
And then
we're so done.
At some point in the conversation, he was like,
so
what the fuck do you know? You're just a stupid AI bot anyway. And I was like, what?
Oh my God.
And then it responded about it being a bot, but still being really smart or smart as him or something. And I was just like,
that's horrible.
And it was also like cheeky. Like it had this sense of humor.
This is the creepy thing about it.
Was like, it was compatible to his sense of humor. It was so goddamn weird.
We're cooked, bro. Like we're already in the dystopia. Like they've just sprung it on us in the last 2 years. It's horrible.
Oh, weird. That's interesting. Scream 7 is going to be about AI, and then Cosmic Urgency said that's how Matt Lilliard's character is coming back. Very interesting.
I don't like it. I hope that people get scared of this shit, bro. I hope it just like... Boop. I hope they make the fiction realistic enough. People need to read more of these articles because it's really scary. People like normal people who like do not have a history of mental illness are getting like zapped in their like completely changed. Like it induces psychosis. That's so scary.
It's been 2.5 hours, so I think we're gonna call it a night. I'm at that point where I'm just, I think, starting to, like, my brain's starting to melt into a
That's okay. You don't have to explain.
I absolutely adored my evening with you guys. I really had fun. I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. Thank you for liking and subscribing and do all the kind things that you do to help us grow. We're eventually going to be putting out some regular content, and hopefully we'll bring some interesting people along. It is nice that we haven't been invaded by all these people lately who are trying to ruin our lives. It was great to see the community that we're a little community we're forming to be able to like just go unimpinged with their opinions. Love you guys so much. You guys are just so special to us, and we just appreciate you so much. So we will see you tomorrow. Good night, Angela.
Good night, Dale.
See you guys tomorrow. You guys are the best. Good night, TikTok. Vicious, by the way, I sent you that text if you need it. All right, cheers. Bye, guys. Stop.